The main character of this story, Zane, was one of the top players in a game called Apocalypse. There, he built a team and trained hard to become the strongest. Years later, he finally reached the point where he was just one step away from defeating the final boss. Together with his team, they managed to slay the final dragon, and Zane obtained the last fragment of the legendary Dragon's Blood Scroll. Just when he thought he had achieved everything he wanted, and that using the scroll would make him the most powerful player in the game, everything went wrong. His best friend and his girlfriend betrayed and killed him, taking the scroll for themselves. Morton's attack struck Zane with full force, wiping out 32 million of his health points. The system confirms that Zane is dead, with no chance of resurrection. Let's provide a little backstory here. This wasn't real. It's the world of Apocalypse, a virtual reality game that brought together the best designers in gaming and took 5 years and billions of dollars to create. The game is set in the future, where alien monsters attacked Earth through wormholes, causing both humans and creatures to mutate. If people didn't play the game, they would be killed by the system and turned into non-playable characters. Nobody wanted that, so everyone entered the game. But after the open beta test, the players faced a serious problem. They couldn't log out of the game and had to stay in it forever. Zane had been trapped in Apocalypse for 8 years, and well, he couldn't accept the betrayal. Suddenly, he opens his eyes in a dark room and realizes he has been reborn on August 28, 2025. Just before the game's launch, he is bewildered because, at this time, the game hadn't even been announced yet. Soon, he realizes he must have traveled back in time to a period before the game was even announced. Zane is determined to make Morton face the consequences by taking his life. He goes to his computer, knowing he needs to find the divine talent cards scattered across the world before the game begins. These rare divine cards grant special divine talents that can only be activated by finding the card. In reality, the game's developers, the Sky Fortune Group, released 10 talent cards, which are randomly placed in different locations around the world. From his past experiences, Zane knows that the first card is located on the top floor of the Imal Building, the tallest shopping center in Linhai City. Without hesitation, he rushes there, and sure enough, he finds the card exactly where he expected. But just as he's about to grab it, someone stops him. It's Lucas Teng, the young master of the building and heir to the city's largest real estate group. He claims that both the building and the card belong to him. Zane ignores his warning and charges towards the card, but Luther surrounds him with guards and is determined to teach Zane a lesson. For trying to take what doesn't belong to him, Zane moves quickly, his eyes fixed on the card. Luther orders his guards to shoot the bullets, fly towards Zane, but he manages to dodge them. He rushes forward like an arrow, knowing exactly when the game will begin and how to steal the card. When he reaches the card, he leaps into the air and grabs it. Seeing this, Luther shouts, warning him not to take the card. As soon as Zane holds the card, Luther shoots at him. The bullet is speeding towards him, but before it hits, time stops, the bullet freezing just inches from his face. Everything around him freezes, and it is exactly 12 o'clock. The game has begun again. A familiar system panel appears in front of him. Asking if he wants to enter the Apocalypse game without hesitation, he confirms and is teleported to another place. At the same time, players around the world are being pulled into the virtual world. Zane, however, is teleported to a place he recognizes from his past life, the starting point of the game. His eyes land on a glowing divine-level talent card, and he walks towards it, but before he can grab it, a light descends from the sky and a small spirit appears. The spirit introduces itself as the system spirit assigned to him at the same time. Zane's attribute panel shows that he has obtained a rare divine talent card and a powerful skill, Copy, which allows him to copy other players' talents. The skill has a 1-hour cooldown. Zane now has to choose one of 3 races, elf, beast, or human. In his previous life, he chose the human race for a 20% increase in prestige income, which is important in the Apocalypse game. However, he is not sure which race to choose this time. The little spirit then notices something hidden within him, the Dragon Blood Scroll that was given to him in his past life. The spirit pulls out the scroll, which surprises Zane. The item that Maltia wanted ended up with Zane after all. Suddenly, a roar pulls him from his thoughts. It's a dragon. Zane turns around and sees a large triangle-shaped door. It is a hidden dragon camp, probably unlocked because he has the Dragon Blood Scroll. He is confused because he has never seen this faction before, but decides to activate the scroll, opening the door. Upon passing through it, he is teleported again, this time to a place crowded with players. Discussing the game, Zane opens his control panel to check his stats. He has a skill called Dragon Race Exclusive Passive Skill, which is very powerful. The skill Hell Dragon's Flame is a level 6 gold passive skill. Every time Zane performs a normal attack, there's a 1% chance of summoning a Hell Dragon when this dragon appears. It deals 150% of Zane's attack power, as true damage to all enemies within range. Although the chance of this happening is low, its effect is almost as strong as a divine talent. Zane now needs to get familiar with his divine level talent, and to do that, he needs to find someone to copy and test it on. Noises are coming from the destroyed carriage, so Zane quickly moves to follow the sound, and that's when his attention is caught by a bald guy in front of him. This bald man is holding another guy, who is asking the other to team up with him. Zane acts cleverly, getting close to his shoulder, but when the guy shrugs him off, Zane apologizes and pretends to have mistaken him for someone else. He uses this as an excuse to get close enough to activate his ability, and just like that, he does it. The system congratulates him for a successful copy, and grants him an epic level talent, Treasure Hunter. This allows players to find treasures within a 500-meter range. Zane's face lights up with joy, as it's an epic level talent. At that moment, an announcement is made, welcoming the players to the apocalypse. Meanwhile, a man is staring at a computer screen. He continues the announcement, motivating the players to enjoy the game, calling them "my warriors." After finishing the announcement, the corner of his mouth curls into a cunning smile. Back in the game, the same bald guy whose skills were copied by Zane is planning on having no teammates. He's full of himself and confident in his own abilities, so he's decided to venture out alone. However, he's immediately stopped by Zane, who gently reminds him not to act rashly, as it could be very dangerous out there. Carelessly, the bald guy shoves him aside, accusing him of being a coward. After all, it's just a game. So he climbs onto a window ledge before jumping, and mocks all the other players. He arrogantly tells them to stay there and watch him play, then leaps out of the window. But before he even hits the ground, he falls straight into the mouth of a giant spider waiting for the players below. The bald man disappears instantly, and the system announces, "Player number 3580 has been killed, with no chance of revival." The announcement serves as a death threat to the other players, who are now terrified. As panic takes over, Zane can't help but shout to everyone that this is not a normal game. He goes on to explain that if they die here, they die in real life too. This is a battle of life and death. The players finally understand that this isn't just a simple game. However, the system continues with the first mission, which is to find the safe zone. The instructions are to follow the minimap, to find the 86th safe zone in District B, City of Hope. In the City of Hope, their safety will be fully guaranteed. The reward is an extra chance to revive. The penalty for failure is death, and the remaining time is 3 hours and 58 minutes. While all the players are terrified and unsure of their next move, Zane runs. He quickly dashes to the back of the carriage. Based on his memories from his past life, someone in the 7th car used a safety hammer as a weapon, and it's really there. As he holds the weapon, he remembers that it unexpectedly revealed itself to be a disguised blue-quality weapon. The other players became very jealous, just as Zane predicted. As soon as he touches it, the hammer transforms into a sharp weapon. It's an ice blade made of meteoric iron. He remembers precisely that there is also a hidden treasure chest in this carriage, so he activates his treasure hunter talent. The treasure appears right under a seat. He bends down to get the box. It turns out that inside is a dragon's breath potion, blue quality. It contains the powerful breath of a dragon. All preparations are complete. Zane doesn't hesitate and rushes out the window. The moment he jumps, he swings his ice blade. He carves a bloody path through the spiders. With the superior attributes of the Hidden Dragon clan, everyone who sees the weapon in his hand can't help but comment that this guy is amazing. Although they know that surrounded by so many spiders, even someone carrying a legendary weapon would need to perform well. Zane doesn't care, so he continues dealing with the spiders. The human presence attracts more spiders. The players at the revival point think Zane is looking for death. Meanwhile, Zane wants to attract even more spiders. When the spiders completely surround him, he stops. He instantly pulls out the dragon's breath potion, ready to let these monsters taste the power of the potion. Instead of drinking it, he throws the potion bottle directly toward the monsters. It hits a spider's leg and shatters, causing a massive eruption of flames, and the spiders are caught in the blaze. System notifications appear continuously as he keeps leveling up, receiving 50 copper coins and health potions as well. Zane holds the items in his hand, feeling lucky and hoping to get a few more dragon's breath potions. On the other hand, the other players see him easily defeat so many spiders and can't believe it. They think it's definitely cheating, but at the same time, some players think about going and forming a team with him. They feel that this guy is quite powerful and has a superior background after dealing with those monsters. Zane continues his journey alone, deciding to follow the map to the City of Hope, leaving behind those envious and competitive people. Suddenly, a man appears. He runs unexpectedly straight toward Zane. The man falls to his knees, begging him to help and save his daughter, who was taken by monsters. Zane's expression doesn't change at all. He remembers how in his past life, many people got into trouble in that dense forest, but at the same time, there must be many good things hidden inside. So he agrees to follow this man. But little does he know that behind this helpless, sobbing man, there is a demon with a smile full of malice. Zane begins to search for the man's lost daughter, but after walking for a while, he feels that something is wrong. So he calls out to the man to ask where his daughter got lost. Since the forest ahead is quite large, he spots a faint light flickering among the dense shadows. But when he turns around after hearing no response, the man had vanished without a trace. At first, Zane looks around in confusion, wondering where the guy disappeared, a strange feeling taking over his heart. But ignoring these negative thoughts, he continues forward. Deep down, Zane clearly feels eyes watching him from the darkness, but he pretends not to notice. The deeper he ventures into the forest, he hears a little girl sobbing, calling for her mother. Following the sound, he ends up finding the little girl, tightly holding a lollipop. Zane approaches, crouches down slightly, and advises her not to stay there alone, as it is dangerous. He decides to get her out of there, but at that exact moment, a woman with a well-proportioned figure appears. Suddenly, next to her is the man from before. Beads of sweat cover Zane's face, for it was a trick to capture another prey. Zane feels a dangerous aura emanating from the woman, but his attention is diverted by a system announcement. A hidden quest. Rescue the little girl from the dark forest and return her to the City of Hope. The reward is the carving ring, with no penalty for failure, and the time remaining to complete this task is 59 minutes. Zane's thoughts race. In his past life, several teams had triggered this hidden quest by exploring the dark forest. The rewards and experience points earned from this task made many other players envious, so he cannot miss this opportunity. Without hesitation, he accepts the quest. The woman licks her lips, unable to resist the human scent. Suddenly, her body begins to transform. A hand with sharp claws extends. Before Zane stood a half-human spider. An unusual aura emanated from the woman's entire body. She threatens them to behave and become her food. However, the little girl, upon seeing the spider's monstrous form, is now crying even louder. Therefore, Zane quickly moves in front of her to protect her and assures her to wait for her big brother, who will get her out of there immediately. After comforting her, he draws his weapon, the same frozen blade, and charges towards the spider demon. He swings the blade and tries to strike its leg, but it has no effect. Realizing her skin is hardened, the spider beauty laughs maniacally as his physical attacks have no effect on her, so she swings her deadly leg at Zane, but he manages to dodge it. With the help of his frozen blade, he slides back somehow. The little spirit appears, her expressions filled with worry. She explains that the spider beauty is a level 20 boss. It's impossible to defeat her with his current strength now, so he must give up the task and leave this place upon hearing this. Zane looks at the crying girl beside him. Escaping alone is something he refuses to do. The little spirit leans in slightly, giving him an option to survive just in the nick of time. Something inside him snaps, ordering the spirit not to decide or predict his future so easily, and he charges forward with speed, cutting through the wind, his eyes aiming to kill the monster. Looking at the level 20 boss, he remembers seeing a hidden treasure chest in the world channel in his past life. Perhaps that skill book is the way to deal with this. With that thought, he quickly activates the treasure hunter talent. A golden light flashes in his eyes. The treasure chest is in a tree. But in the blink of an eye, the spider beauty appears right in front of him, spreading her legs to surround him, trying to put him in a pincer attack. Zane's agility helps him this time, and he steps back quickly. It would be his death if just one of the spider beauty's legs hit him, so he needs to be very careful and not lose his cool no matter what. Observing his body language, the spider beauty realizes that his target isn't her but something else, somehow. Zane quickly reaches the treasure chest. The spider beauty turns. Witnessing him open the chest, a bolt of lightning shoots from her palm to attack him. But it was too late. Zane had already successfully opened the treasure chest. Obtaining the blue quality skill book Chain Lightning, realizing it's a hidden skill, Zane becomes extremely happy. It unleashes lightning bolts that can ricochet between enemies, causing 200 points of magic damage. For each unit killed, the damage of the chain lightning increases by 10%, still rejoicing. Zane doesn't notice that the Spider Beauty's minions are surrounding him, while the Spider Beauty is gathering a ball of lightning energy to hit him with. She screams furiously, commanding her strike to tear him apart. Without wasting time, Zane places his hand on the skill book and absorbs its energy. A powerful bolt of lightning forms in his palm. It is also an area of effect attack called Chain Lightning. The Spider Beauty's jaw drops in fear. Terrifying lightning bolts are released with the technique learned from the skill book, and the lightning descends, destroying the woman's limbs. Zane can't help but smile, immensely approving of the power of this incredibly powerful attack. She eventually disappears. The system congratulates Zane for completing the secret quest, obtaining an epic item, the Poisonous Fang Dagger, as a reward. Crafted from the poisonous fangs of spiders, it deals 20 points of poison damage per second to enemies. Moving on, the little girl is safely brought back to Hopetown by Zane. As soon as they enter Hopetown, familiar faces stare him down, none other than Luther and his subordinates. One of the guys points at Zane, reminding Luther that he's the same guy who stole his divine talent card. Luther's face turns red with rage, he grinds his teeth and clenches his fists, and orders his subordinates to send someone to keep an eye on him, ignoring the hateful glares. Zane holds the girl's hand and enters Hopetown. It's nighttime, but the hustle and bustle hasn't died down. The little girl looks up at Zane with innocence in her eyes and expresses her gratitude for bringing her back home safely right after the girl disappears. The system congratulates Zane for completing the hidden quest and obtaining the reward. It's the Ring of Fortune, which increases luck points by 55. Zane is thrilled. Looking at the shiny golden ring in his hand, it's a piece of equipment that can actually increase luck in the apocalypse. Luck is an extremely rare attribute. The higher a player's luck value, the more abundant the quest rewards are. Despite this, his attention is diverted when a voice interrupts him. He follows the sound. A blacksmith is working intently and energetically, promoting his enhancement skills. Seeing him work, Zane can't help but wonder if he's using some kind of trick. Because how can the enhancement success rate be so high? Then the guy next to him explains that his talent is enhancement and forging after a while of diligent forging. The guy holds a gleaming sword in his hand. Everyone is impressed by his skill, amazed at how he managed to forge such a strong piece of equipment. Zane decided to give it a try. He touched the blacksmith's shoulder and successfully copied the epic talent of enhancement and forging. His equipment enhancement success rate increased by 50%, so he took out his poisonous fang dagger, placed it on the surface, and raised the hammer. As he struck the dagger with the hammer, each blow represented a successful enhancement, and in no time he enhances the dagger from level 2 to level 5 with this talent. He won't have to worry about enhancing equipment in the future. It could even be a business opportunity as well. The people around him are shocked too. See this person with a plus 15 epic weapon. Everyone knows that plus 15 is extremely rare. But for it to be an epic grade weapon is unbelievable. Their expressions are a mixture of envy and curiosity. Suddenly, sweat runs down his face and his vision becomes blurry. He gasps for air and loosens his collar, as he's having trouble breathing and can only hear people's conversations. However, the same small spirit appears, reminding him that his fatigue value has almost reached its limit, so he needs to go to the nearest tavern to rest. So Zane decides to rest first before leveling up outside the city, but in a hidden corner. Someone is secretly watching him. Zane easily finds a tavern. It's a special place for players to rest and recover after a battle upon entering. He places a gold coin and requests a room from the receptionist on the way to his room. He overhears a conversation between a young man and a girl. The guy is asking if she saw the World Channel and mentions that someone completed a quest. Hidden in the dark forest, the girl replies that the person was very lucky and even received an epic grade weapon in his thoughts. Zane believes that luck is also a part of strength, but he will use his strength to seize good fortune later in the tavern room. Zane lies on the bed, his eyes fixed on the ceiling. He thinks about quickly reaching level 20. Only then can he learn stronger skills. When players reach level 20, they undergo a class advancement. Any one of the 7 professions, which include Knight Berserker, Assassin, Mage, Archer Priest, or Beast Tamer. Thinking of the person who was the reason for his death in his past life, a desire for revenge fills his eyes. The next morning he leaves the inn. He walks through the forest for a while, but stops suddenly upon sensing someone. Then he tells them to stop hiding and come out. Discovering a group of people emerging from the bushes led by Luther, Luther smiles, calling him lucky for the last time, and dares him to run again to test his luck. Each of his men looks aggressive. Before Zane could answer, Luther signaled for his men to attack. Calmly he activated forced PK mode, raising his hand and casting a lightning bolt. Zane is confident. He was thinking of showing off his new skill, Chain Lightning, and this is definitely the perfect moment. But strangely, the lightning weakens and disappears completely. Zane enters a state of panic, wondering if he has been silenced. Just then, beside Luther, there's a guy standing in a cloak. He's the one who made him unable to use his skills. This is an alarming situation for Zane. As panic spreads across his face, Luther suggests he accept his fate. Immediately, a guy from their group rushes forward, throwing his fist to hit Zane. But he stands firm, his lips curved into a mysterious smile. The whole group is shocked, realizing he's not taking any damage, and that his equipment is too good. Their damage isn't high enough. Frustrated, Lu Chen summons his weapon. It is a blue quality weapon, and it was even enhanced to plus 15. It is a bow. When he shoots an arrow, it quickly splits into countless arrows, but Zhang Ye remains unfazed. A few scratches appear on his face, but he is still smiling. The total number of these arrows exceeds 100, which should meet the activation conditions. The activation that can summon an infernal dragon. The dragon, with its huge wings and red flames, appears beside Zhang Ye. It roars, shaking everything around it. Terrified, the group tries to run, but they are frozen by Zhang Ye. And at their master's command, the dragon attacks them with a combined skill, including an area of effect attack and infernal dragon flames. In an instant, Lu Chen's group vanishes, leaving a few pieces of equipment behind. Smiling, Zhang Ye picks up Lu Chen's weapon, and just from the experience points and equipment, he has now reached level 20. The item he just obtained is a blue-quality silver moon bow, enhanced to plus 115. Its arrow splits into 100 upon being fired, raining down like meteors. Finally, the system congratulates him for reaching level 20 and allows him to proceed to the main game to find a class change officer, to start the class change test. At the Fountain of Rebirth in the Village of Hope, Lu Chen and his group reappear. Players with revival chances are revived at the nearest Fountain of Rebirth, after death. At this moment, Zhang Ye is walking along, admiring the silver moon bow he just obtained. Lu Chen turns red, his blood boiling with rage. He threatens Zhang Ye to just wait, vowing to settle the score one day, but Zhang Ye is on cloud 9 right now. So he ignores him and heads straight for the main gate where the NPC for player class changes is. Arriving there, he informs the NPC about his class change. The NPC raises one of its hands and a red vortex appears, and just like that, the Palace of Class Change is opened. When he enters, it is as if he has been teleported to another place. He finds himself in a completely unknown place. Looking around, he sees 7 figures that obviously represent the 7 professions in Apocalypse: Knight, Berserker, Assassin, Mage, Archer, Priest, and Beast Tamer. Among these 7, the Beast Tamer is the least popular class. He approaches an old man wrapped in a cloak, representing a Beast Tamer. Although a Beast Tamer can summon magical beasts to fight and protect, raising magical beasts is no easy task. His mind is filled with thoughts, unsure of what to do, but he remembers that he does not want to be a Beast Tamer. When one begins to raise beasts, the Beast Tamer has to share their resources with them. But resources are scarce in Apocalypse, which hinders the Beast Tamer's growth later in the game. This causes them to be wiped out, although only Knights and Beast Tamers are suitable for the Dragon race. While the Knight class isn't bad, it's an early game class. They're quite weak in the late game. In his past life, many Knights fell off hard after reaching the final stages of the game, but the Beast Tamer is different. Zane has one divine talent, and he can gather resources 10 times faster than other players, even getting a dragon companion later on because of his race. Eventually, he'll have a balanced team. The old man suddenly opens his eyes, revealing he had been waiting for a long time. When the profession confirmation panel appears, the spirit shows up again, urging him to rethink his decision. But Zane has already made up his mind, so he chooses to be a Beast Tamer, and, as he becomes the Beast Tamer, the old man touches his forehead. A purple light transfers into his body, and a purple mark appears on his forehead, emitting a purple radiance as a silver ring appears on his finger, and now, he is teleported back to Hope Village, where the class change NPC congratulates him for completing his class change. Just then, 2 players walk by, catching Zane's attention. One of the guys reminds the other how he warned him about the city of the undead being dangerous. It turns out they got wiped out before they could even find an elite monster, and lost a lot of gear. Hearing this, Zane's interest is piqued. He remembers the city of the undead, the very first dungeon he cleared in his past life. With a decent team and his past experience, they could kill the boss in minutes. At the same time, a nearby group of players is calling for anyone who is level 20 and has completed their class change to form a party for the city of the undead. Only 2 spots remain. It's first come, first served. A girl in a cloak approaches them, asking if there is a spot available. Seeing a beautiful mage, the leader warmly welcomes her. Seizing this opportunity, Zane steps forward, eager to join as well. The guy looks down on Zane, assuming he's just a support class with weaker skills, since he just became a Beast Tamer, but because they were 1 player short, he lets him join the party. In the city of the undead, desolate graves surround them. The party leader turns, questioning Zane if he hasn't seen the world chat. Basically, Beast Tamers have the lowest attack stat of the 7 main classes. He's trying to mock him. Embarrassed, Zane just makes an excuse that maybe he likes animals. Suddenly, an arrow comes flying toward them at extreme speed. The girl in the cloak and Zane react just in time, dodging the arrow as it hits the ground. The entire party takes their positions, as enemies come to attack them. Numerous skeletons emerge from the graves surrounding the party. One of the guys swings his sword, cutting the skeletons in half, but from behind, 2 more skeletons attack him out of nowhere. While the cloaked girl removes her cloak, she tightened her grip around her weapon and launched fireballs using the arcane mastery skill. Flames erupt on the surface, and skeletons are engulfed by the fire. But in an instant, a skeleton appears from behind, pressing a dagger against the girl's throat, catching her completely by surprise. Upon witnessing this, the ring on Zane's hand emits a purple light, the same light that was transferred to him by the representative of the beast tamer, and numerous black crows appear. The crows caw menacingly, frightening everyone there. Around them are bolts of that same purple lightning that had previously radiated from Zane. It turns out that Zane used his crow summoning ability. It is the basic skill of the beast tamer to summon a flock of crows, to disrupt and attack the opponent, dealing 50 points of magic damage. The crows unleash terrifying lightning bolts at the skeleton, burning and paralyzing it. Seizing this opportunity, Zane rushes towards the skeleton and easily cuts off its head. The girl is stunned by his skills and tries to thank him, but suddenly Zane grabs her hand and pulls her away, towards where the others were running. Since they are the undead, they will revive soon, so they need to get out of there quickly. As everyone rushes forward, very soon, they all stand before an ancient castle. Zane reminds everyone that the boss is inside. The knights will be in charge of defending the girl, while the DPS will focus on dealing damage from a distance. Then the rest must avoid the AoE spells during the second phase of the boss fight. The guy who welcomed them to the party earlier finds it a bit suspicious how familiar Zane is with this, but Zane just lets out a nervous laugh, claiming it is just his experience from past games. After the discussion, Zane takes the lead and heads straight for the castle gate. Meanwhile, the entire party notices his venomous fang dagger, so they quickly open the system and check the weapon's attributes. The man in the green cloak is in disbelief. A plus 15 venomous fang dagger. How can a newbie be using an epic weapon and know the basics so well? He must be lying. His mind races with 1,000 questions. The guy's wicked thoughts take over, assuming Zane must have many more incredible items. It seems they have hit the jackpot. At the same time, Zane opens the castle gate, and everyone heads inside. The place is quite dark. Around them are lit torches, and in the middle stands a throne, which cannot be seen properly due to the darkness. The female mage stays close to Zane, but just as a precaution, he tells everyone to stay close, as it could be very dangerous in here. Instantly, the other guys in the group flash a sinister smile with a thud. The castle door slams shut the female mage, and Zane panic in fear as the players' voices echo from beyond the door, telling them to stay quiet inside. They'll be back to check soon. The female mage screams in fear for them to stop, but Zane realizes they've fallen into a trap by joining a team of player killers. They intend to use the boss to get rid of them both. This way they can monopolize the experience and rewards. However, at this moment, it's too late. The sound of moving chains creaks loudly in the room in front of them. Smoke rises, revealing a giant structure. The boss is already here. A large, sharp shard of ice appears in the air. Zane quickly grabs the mage's wrist, pulling them away from that spot. Dodging the heavy ice attack, it smashes into the ground, shattering into pieces. The mage turns to look at the destruction. She sighs in relief, expressing her gratitude to Zane for saving her. Again, unexpectedly, ice erupts from beneath their feet. Before they could understand, a giant level 30 necromancer with sharp fangs appears in front of them. It floats in the air, raising its hands. It summons 2 large ice balls, and piece by piece, it strikes them from above. Zane panics because without a tank, they can't withstand the boss's damage. At the same time, the mage places her hand on the ground, forming a purple magic circle. Spirits wearing cloaks with dark purple eyes emerge from that circle. Zane is suddenly in disbelief, a shocked look on his face. The girl explains these are the undead soldiers summoned by her talent, Undead Summoner. But they can't hold on for long, so they have to think of a way to escape. The undead soldiers join together, creating a barrier through the system. Zane learns about the Divine Talent card, classified as Undead Summoning. It summons deceased beings from the world of the apocalypse to fight for 5 minutes. As the minutes pass, cracks appear on the barrier. Looking at the mage, he asks her to buy some time, finding no other option. Zane immediately uses his chain lightning skill, sending out a shockwave. Knowing this boss's weakness, the mage decides to cover him by casting multi-fireball spells, sending powerful fireballs forward, and also continuing to summon the undead soldiers. The undead soldiers swing their weapons, attacking the boss. However, at that moment, Zane spots the gem on its collar. It's the necromancer's power source, and at the same time, it's its greatest weakness. Cunningly, Zane extends his hand. He summons a flock of crows, grabs onto the leg of one, and flies higher. The tension in the room mounts as he leaps, swinging his dagger forcefully against the boss. The boss roars in pain, but the gem on its necklace is cracked. After that powerful strike, Zane lands on the ground. The system congratulates him for killing the necromancer boss, and for leveling up to level 25. He even obtains an epic item, the Radiant Staff. It can be used at level 30 and releases a blast of icy wind to freeze enemies within a 100-meter radius for 5 seconds, dealing 500 magic damage. Right after, he hands it to the mage girl. Since this is a weapon for mages, a beast tamer like him would not be able to use it. Outside the castle, the 3 traders assume the players are probably dead due to the silence inside. They then decide to re-enter the castle to get the loot. Just as they are about to push the door open, Zane kicks it so hard that it shatters. All 3 of them stand in disbelief, obviously disappointed to see them alive. But one of the guys in the green cloak is still greedy, claiming they must be tired after defeating the boss. So he charges forward to attack them, holding his weapon without hesitation. Zane extends his arm to protect the girl, his eyes filled with rage. He demands to know the reason for their betrayal, their teammates. Seeing the man's malicious smile, he could see mutant in him, the same mutant who made him believe in supporting him no matter what. And just like him, this guy is also betraying his teammates. Zane grabs the mage girl's hand. Touching her makes her cheeks turn red, but this handshake allowed Zane to copy the divine skill, Immortal Summoner. Just as the man in the green cloak swings his weapon at Zane's feet, a magic circle forms to everyone's surprise. He summons the same necromancer they just defeated. The necromancer freezes all 3 traders, and they gradually disappear. The system announces player Rohan, Wade, and Yusuf have been killed by the necromancer. They have no more chances to revive. Suddenly, Zane's vision becomes blurry. Sweat trickles down his head. He loses consciousness and falls to the ground. But the girl catches him. Before passing out completely, he manages to see the mage girl's face, worried about him. The system also announces the player's fatigue level has reached its limit, so he needs to get to the nearest rest point. Losing consciousness completely, he dreams of the system congratulating him for clearing the stage. Zane ranked second on the leaderboard. Memories return in Zane's dream. Little Ian sits on the sofa, complaining to his father about his boring toys and wanting a new game to keep him busy. His father promises to give him a new game when he manages to beat his record. His face lights up with joy. His father then gathers his things and starts to leave. Ian watches his father go, thinking about how he himself is now trapped in a game. He might never get the chance to play his father's game in the in-room again. Zane finally wakes up. His head is throbbing, but as he pours some water, he notices a letter on the table. He quickly opens it. Inside the letter, the mage, Yara Han, expresses her gratitude, thanking him for saving her life. She also informs him that by the time he reads this, she will have already left to find her brother. She left him a storage ring containing the items from those guys. He might need them in the future. She believes that fate will bring them together again. Zane examines the ring, while muttering the mage's name again. After opening the character ring, Zane is stunned. These people had eliminated several players. As all the equipment is of different types, taking a sip of water, he feels relieved that at least he no longer has to worry about equipment. All that's left is a magic beast. He carefully observes the map, thinking to himself, if he remembers correctly, the foggy area to the north is the hidden dungeon, the Tomb of the Dragon King, the only dungeon before level 40 that drops magic beasts. But this quest is anything but easy. It would be problematic if his teammates were as unreliable as Howard. The next morning, Zane walks through Hopetown, constantly thinking about finding teammates, reliable ones. At that moment, his gaze falls upon a girl who is inviting people to join her guild, stating that there are many benefits, like fighting monsters to level up, and helping each other in dungeons. Realizing how foolish he's been, Zane wonders why he didn't think of a guild. In his past life, he joined Morton as soon as he entered the game. He had forgotten that a guild is the best way to recruit skilled players. Upon entering the guild building, he meets the receptionist, revealing that he wants to create a guild. And, hearing this, the receptionist asks for a name for his new guild. Zane remembers what his father once said. The game's creator is also the game's god, and the players are always challengers who defy God. So the only way to win is to become a god slayer. Zane ends up naming his guild God Slayer. The receptionist then suggests that he gather his companions now. In an instant, Zane's mind wanders. He has to hand out flyers on the street, but he can't just recruit people randomly. He needs to go to a place with more experts. According to what happened in his past life, There was a combat trial after the first survival mission, so he decides to visit the combat trial. All the experts in the region will be there. A special quest notification has been sent to the players about the combat trial. And to welcome the players, Hope Town is hosting its first combat test, a one-on-one competition. Players who have completed their class change can compete, and the winner will receive generous rewards. The prize includes 100 gold coins and a rare skill book. As soon as he receives this notification, Jay doesn't hesitate to agree and participate. All the players, after agreeing, are teleported by the system to a grand arena. An announcer present there welcomes everyone to the first trial site, a one-on-one battle in the Sky Arena. All the players line up in order as Jay looks at the other competitors. They all have higher levels than him. He realized he had been idle for quite some time, and this is certainly a wake-up call. However, his attention is diverted when he hears echoing voices, motivating and encouraging someone to kill. When he turns, he sees a guy named Jennings advancing with his weapon to attack his opponent. Meanwhile, his opponent, Wade, a man with long hair and red eyes, absorbs the energy from Jennings' sword as his body floats in the air, blue energy radiating from him and his weapon. It has now been replaced by a mysterious purple energy. Below him, the endless discussion and applause continue. The crowd is shocked, seeing the mage not even move before his opponent. Wade used Shadow Imprisonment, a level 4 ability. It is an exclusive skill that imprisons the enemy in front of him and causes shadow damage. The duration of the imprisonment and the damage increase with the skill's level. Frustrated by the humiliation, Jennings starts to bargain with money, asking if 1 million is enough for his opponent to lose, stating that he will immediately credit his account. The amount of 1 million makes him recall his past. Back then, if he had 1 million, the company would have continued and would not have gone bankrupt. He was sitting in silence looking at the painting, his heart sinking. It was a painting his daughter had drawn. He thought that if he had money, his family wouldn't have been torn apart. He was on the edge of a rooftop, thinking of ending his life when the familiar system bell chimed, giving him the option to enter the apocalypse. And that's how he entered the game, since he had nowhere to go. Back in reality, he assures Jennings that he will never lose or surrender. He will never allow himself to experience failure in his life again. With that, he points the palm of his hand at Jennings, firing rays of energy and sending Jennings to his death. The system congratulates Wade for defeating Jennings and successfully advancing. At this moment, he looks around with the goal of defeating everyone. At the same time, Jay understands that this guy is truly different. Meanwhile, the random draw for the first round of the double trial has been completed. Jay was matched with a guy named Duan Feng. He is now requested to go to the corresponding location to duel within the specified time. Jay had frequently seen that name on the World Channel in his previous life. He could clear all kinds of difficult dungeons by himself. If he could be recruited by God Slayer, it would be a win-win situation for Jay. In arena number 20, Duan Feng, a level 35 knight, was already sitting and waiting. Zane is startled because the game has just begun, and the guy is already at such a high level. Draven stands up with a 10-level difference. He gives Zane the chance to make the first move, otherwise it would seem like he was taking advantage of him. Seeing him act like this, Zane feels a little irritated and advises him to stop underestimating others. The winner has not yet been decided. Zane is summoning crows as Draven reaches for his sword, praising Zane's confidence. He assumes a defensive stance and uses his skill, Sword Guardian, a unique level 4 knight ability, which can summon several sword souls. Each sword soul can withstand 500 damage and return the resisted damage to the enemy. The number of sword souls increases with the skill's level. Without even letting him attack, Draven launches his powerful attack, and Zane ends up being affected by the skill's reflected damage. Sword Guardian losing 200 HP. It was all just a trap. Him asking Zane to attack first was a setup. Worry creases his brow. If he wants to deal damage to him, he must break the 4 sword souls, and each sword soul can withstand a maximum of 500 damage. This also means he would have to take 2,000 reflected damage, and his health points are only 2,000. Noticing his hesitation, Draven advances. Holding his sword firmly, he launches all 4 swords at him, reminding him that hesitating is giving the opponent an opportunity to kill. Zane retreats while blocking the attacks. Knowing that if this continues, he will have no chance of winning, he needs to find a way to break the 4 sword souls. Suddenly, he remembers to check the items collected from Howard's group. Among them, there was an undead armor item that prevents death from a fatal blow. It recovers 10% of his health points and has a 25-hour cooldown. Having no choice, he quickly equips it. At this moment, he could only rely on the life-saving effect of this armor of the dead. After putting it on without wasting a second, he charges forward using the chain lightning skill. Draven wonders if Zane has a death wish or something. He will be killed by the sword's soul before he even attacks because of his current health points. He raises his sword arrogantly, stating that it's over, but little does he know that Zane has activated the Immortal Guardian ability of the Immortal set, which will help him survive a fatal blow. And so his sword received several hits, shattering piece by piece. Increasing his power, Zane destroyed the swords, confused. Draven tries to understand what just happened, but in the chaos he is stabbed by Zane's poisoned dagger. Zane finally defeats Draven, and successfully advances to the next round. Zane extends a hand to help Duanfeng up, praising him and admitting that he is very strong, and if it weren't for his equipment, he would have lost from the start. He then proposes that Duanfeng join his guild, noting that there's a very difficult hidden dungeon north of the city, and if they work together, they will definitely clear it with no problem. Duanfeng compliments him back, and, as for joining his guild, he will consider it for the time being. The announcer congratulates everyone for passing the first round of the test and requests that they look at their opponent for the next round. Through the World Channel, the next round is announced to begin immediately. A familiar figure in a robe steps onto the stage. It's none other than Yaruhan, and her opponent is the talk of the crowd. They say not to underestimate her. In the previous round, she defeated her opponent as if it was nothing. Hulk warns her not to expect any mercy, stating there's no room for sympathy in this arena. On the other hand, Yaruhan assures him she will give it her all. Outside the celestial battle arena, everyone gathers and calls out for their companions to hurry, as the battle between the strongest mages has already begun. Upon hearing this, Zane thinks that if he could recruit the strongest mage, it would be great for both him and his guild. Before heading off to train, Duanfeng tells him to contact him through the guild chat if he needs him. In fact, Duanfeng is a training maniac. Even though he officially joined the guild, he quickly left a message, hoping to see news of Zane winning the championship. Otherwise, he would be embarrassed to have been defeated by him. Zane laughs at the pressure before the fight, just as he'd expect from his comrade. Out of curiosity, he decides to take a look at the strongest mage, since everyone is so eager to see this fight. As he approaches the arena, his eyes widen in shock when he recognizes Yaruhan, and her opponent is Hulk, the guy from the previous duel. Yaruhan's eyes are fixed on her opponent, her staff held tight. Her body is surrounded by a fiery aura. Suddenly, she casts a howling ice storm, with her ice gale skill, covering the entire stage. Hulk compliments her on having a good staff, and claims that it will soon be his, even as he's slightly frozen by the ice. Ignoring his arrogant comment, Yaruhan spins her staff, creating a magic circle with beams of red light, and challenges her opponent to survive this. First, she strikes with the meteor combo effect. This skill summons multiple meteors. Each meteor inflicts 500 points of fire damage on enemies, and the number of meteors increases with the skill's level. The summoned meteors rain down on Hulk. Loud cheers for the girl erupt from the crowd as Zane watches on. Yaruhan has the upper hand, but he has a bad feeling, and just then, Hulk smiles and instantly counters Yaruhan's attack, causing an intense explosion. After the dust settles, both players are gone from the stage. Zane's mind races. Is Yaruhan alright? Where did they go? What is this skill KL is using? At that moment, she appears in the arena. KL holds his staff, mocking her for facing him. She would have reached the final if her opponent had been anyone else. The crowd criticized KL for injuring her so badly and for taking her weapon. Zane calmly steps into the arena and helps her. Instead of worrying about her injuries, she apologizes to him for not protecting the item that he gave her. Zane reassures her not to worry and to rest, as he will enter the final, beat him, and recover her staff. Time passes, and very soon, Zane and Kale defeat their opponents and successfully continue to level up. After all these rounds, the two finalists are the mage Kale and the only beast tamer in this tournament, Zane. One will attack, one will fall. Who will be the victor? The entire audience is eager to see the fight, knowing full well that both players are incredibly strong. At this moment, Zane and Kale are facing each other. Zane is looking at him coldly. This makes Kale assume he wants to kill him, so Zane confesses that he hates people who take things from others. Without responding, Kale slams the staff on the ground, shattering it and laughing maniacally. However, Kale challenges him to get it back on his own. Suddenly, everything around them goes dark. The people wonder what happened. They have disappeared again. As he repeated the same trick as before, the crowd grows irritated because they want to know what is happening. Now Zane understands. This is why the previous opponent vanished. Kale creates another dimension. It's a skill called Infinite Void that creates an empty space. And the creator gains a 30% increase in damage, while enemies deal 30% less damage for 5 minutes. Kale arrogantly claims that no one will be able to defeat him in this space. Dying here will use up a revive chance, and they will reappear in the same area. He gives Zane the option to surrender. Silently, but without responding, Zane charges straight at Kale to attack with his dagger, but he quickly dodges. This guy is barely giving him a chance to get close. Besides, there is no way to copy his talent. Even undead summons are not useful here. Kale also uses his staff to launch damaging shadow arrows. Zane loses 700 health points. Zane groans in pain. This is frustrating. Even his most basic spell can take 1 to 3% of his health. If this continues, he won't survive a few more attacks and will die. But what if he can revive in this space? Thinking about this, he smiles and stabs himself, dealing a fatal blow. The system declares him dead but also detects a resurrection chance and begins to revive him. The revival mechanics in special areas are different for duels. Players can revive on the spot without going to a resurrection fountain. And now, Zane has finally awakened. The ring on his finger glows and a flock of crows is summoned. Yuki's eyes widen in disbelief. He accuses him of playing dirty, while Zane declares that he will never forgive him. Even if it costs him a resurrection chance, Zane attacks with crows, something Yuki absolutely despises. He then lunges for another attack, and Yuki realizes something that almost makes him wet his pants. Zane is faster now. Unlike before, Zane follows up with a double lightning chain attack, dealing 800 points of damage to the terrified Yuki. Yuki mutters to himself that he can't lose, so he retaliates, but Zane proves to be much stronger. The fight continues, and with all his might, Zane strikes back with insane force, defeating Yuki and winning the dueling competition. The spectators can't believe how quickly it ended, but they agree that Yuki's defeat was well-deserved. After all, he stole the girl's staff first. The host raises Zane's hand in triumph and announces that he is the winner. He brings out the champion's reward, which when opened, can provide a piece of ranked equipment. A random, level 35, historical grade piece. Zane thinks to himself that a level 20 poisonous fang dagger is no longer suitable for him, but a high-level weapon would be a great addition. He opens the chest and receives an ice and fire sword. Zane is thrilled with his new equipment. He's relieved that his chance to revive wasn't wasted, and proud to be a champion. However, he is soon warned not to abuse his new power. Shortly after, he is surrounded by others begging him to add them as friends. Zane then returns the frog staff to Ryan Aru as promised, and asks her about the time she mentioned wanting to find her older brother. He creates the guild, and his head spins as he receives a flood of guild requests. Poor Zane is then hounded by countless people begging him to add them to the guild. The initial size of the guild is limited. It's only 10 members, with each level increasing the limit by 5. Zane can't just let random people join, especially since they don't have a healer. However, with him, Duncan, and Ryan Aru, they would be able to clear the dragon's crown. Suddenly, a man appears before them, and Zane gets defensive, but Ryan Aru recognizes him as King Long. She wonders why he is here, and where her brother is. King Long explains that he saw her at the city entrance, so he followed her. Her brother left for something important but told King Long to protect Ryan Aru. Zane, clearly perplexed, asks Ryan Aru if she knows him. Ryan Aru confirms that King Long is her older brother's partner. With the tension easing, Zane politely invites King Long to join them in the Dragon's Crown dungeon of the dragon, and he accepts the invitation, joining them. Meanwhile, at the entrance of the Dragon's Crown tomb, Anfen is already waiting for them in a very good mood. As they prepare to enter the dungeon, some people are spying on them and decide to inform their boss. Upon entering the dungeon, Rani and Rue are impressed with the statues. Admiring the realistic detail on them, she approaches one of the statues to get a better look, noticing that something seems strange about it. That's when the statue's eyes glow red, and it comes to life. Jian realizes the gravity of the situation, and warns everyone to be careful, because the statues are the monsters of the Dragon's Crown tombs. Then he turns to Duan Feng, instructing him to tank the damage while they attack from behind, and guides his companions to stick together. The monsters start closing in, and begin their assault, but Duan Feng is certain that these monsters are no match for him. He draws his sword and lunges at the monster. Duan Feng's eyes burn with fury as he pushes the creature to its final moments. They all continue to battle the monsters when suddenly, a level 35 Dragon Blood Knight appears, mounted on a horse with a red sword in hand. It picks up speed and charges toward them, ready to strike. Just in the nick of time, Duan Feng notices, and uses Sword Guard to defend against the knight. He then invokes the Blade Formation, a skill from the knight class that deals 3,000 physical damage to enemies, defeating them as if they were powerless before him. But before the knight is struck down, it chants, "Awaken, Lord Shigura." Meanwhile, in the Tower of Eternity, A man watches Zhang with great interest. He can see someone familiar in his shadow, however. He thinks his eyes might be deceiving him. Since that person is no longer around, he is pulled back into a flashback of a man being pushed off a cliff into a raging fire. Now, to play with them a little more, he decides to increase the difficulty for them. Meanwhile, the greedy dragon crown, Shigu, absorbs the power of its fallen minions and evolves into a rank 2 dragon crown. Knowing what this means, Zhang realizes that the monster egg the final boss drops will be a rare one. The rank 2 dragon crown's attack causes their HP to plummet as fast as lightning, and if this continues, they will all be beyond saving. So Zhang instructs everyone to spread out, get some distance, and evade the dragon crown's attack. After that, he pleads with Duanfeng to use his sword guard. However, the dragon's damage is too strong. Duanfeng realizes that his sword soul can only block this one attack, and he won't be able to block the next dragon's breath. But Zane guarantees he will take care of the rest. When the dragon's breath ends, Zane encourages his companions to attack the crown dragon's weak point, its eyes. So King Long uses his level 4 sleeping arrow, which causes 4 seconds of stun, and hits the target, hitting the dragon precisely. As soon as King Long lands the hit, Zane shouts for them to attack the dragon with him, because attacking the crown dragon's weak point can make it temporarily fall into a weakened state, and in a weak state, the damage received is increased by 100%. Following Zane's guide, everyone starts to attack it together. Hana Aral uses her Ice Storm skill to freeze the dragon, and Zane delivers the final blow, eliminating the monster, successfully defeating the greedy dragon, Zigola. As Zane expected, the dragon dropped some good loot, sparking his eyes with excitement. Zane only wants the egg, saying they can take the rest of the equipment. When Zane tries to get the egg, some people enter the dungeon and attack him, but King Long intervenes and takes the damage instead. Zane is surprised by the fact that King Long took the damage for him. Upon asking for an explanation, King Long says he is just returning the favor for saving Reina earlier. However, he explains that he has a chance to revive, so he will wait in the city for them. Anyway, he guarantees that if Reina gets hurt, he will not let them escape easily. On the other hand, Zane yells at them, asking why they would backstab them. Then Luther steps forward and smiles at him, reminding Zane that he had warned him that one day he would make him pay double the price. And that day has come. Seeing Luther in their group, Zane is surprised, but at the same time tells his friends that it is a personal disagreement, and they should leave it to him. He cuts his palm and lets his blood fall onto the dragon egg, and realizes it is blood of the dragon race, a rare type of beast in the world of the apocalypse. He uses his blood to make a contract with the beast, dragon. The egg hatches with a great explosion, and an adorable dragon comes out of it. Dante Feng stands there, wondering if the magical beasts that are tamed by beast tamers are so harmless and innocent-looking. Luther scoffs and laughs, thinking he can surely defeat it effortlessly. The dragon seems truly harmless, but as the dragon becomes furious, Luther's taunts backfire on him. The moment the dragon unleashes its fire breath, everyone is stunned, not expecting such a massive attack. The intensity of these flames is so extreme that the people caught in this fire melt away until their last moments. The leader realizes it is better to save himself and flee. After the leader escapes, the little dragon comes to Zane and sits on his shoulder. As Zane and the group start to leave, Reina asks who they were, and Zane explains that judging by their appearance, they must be people from the other race's camp. But he still does not know why they followed him here. Reina is still perplexed, with that strange symbol in its representation. Zane's face darkens as if he wants to explain something, but he can't. Later, they return to the city, and King Long gets excited upon seeing the little dragon, but upon noticing its hot temper, he knows it's better not to mess with it. The system alerts that since a player from Area 886 killed the greedy crown dragon in the secret dungeon, as the dragon's comrade, the world boss, the Golden Skeleton King, will descend upon Hope City ahead of schedule. Zane realizes this is different from his past life and remembers that before, with just a single power, it destroyed half of Hope City and also killed 60% of its players. Zane thinks that if he could complete the mission to kill the Golden Skeleton King, then the new Apocalypse City would be unlocked, and he could find Muton. Meanwhile, a servant presents 2 dragon eggs to his master, Muton, and informs him that in Area 886, they found a beast tamer, and he killed the crown dragon before them, and even signed a contract with the Black Dragon. Upon hearing about Area 886, Muton finds it truly interesting, as if he has found what he was looking for, and tells his servants to leave. Then, he opens a room and gets a glimpse of a chamber filled with even more dragon eggs. The world boss, the golden skeleton god of death, descends to avenge Exagura. The demonic creature claims it was busy before but has a plan to bury them all today. The demon also summons its minions, and they radiate a strange neon energy. The people of Hope City gather. While some curse whoever brought this upon Hope City, others are eager for the items that will drop. The system states that the mission is to protect the entire city. The system generates a quest to protect the hometown and prevent the invasion of the Golden Skeleton King. Players who land the final blow on the Golden Skeleton and the top 3 contributing players will receive generous rewards, just as in the past. Besides the kill reward, the ranking will be based on damage dealt. The higher the rank, greater the chance of obtaining extremely rare legendary grade equipment, and Zane knows he needs to act sooner this time. Turning to his friends, he tells everyone not to panic, because the Golden Skeleton King moves very slowly. If they maintain a distance of 100 meters or more, and use long-range attacks, they won't be harmed by it. To bring the monster down, Zane encourages everyone to follow his instructions. He instructs Duanfeng to approach the enemies, while the others follow Zane and attack the boss. Meanwhile, the Golden Skeleton King unleashes the skeleton soldiers upon the city, and as everyone fights the skeletons, one of them is injured by a skeleton's fierce attack. The entire group is locked in a difficult battle, launching attacks, but the skeletons are too powerful. Meanwhile, Xiaoyu heals the man while the others continue to fight. As the outer city grows dangerous, Zane tells everyone to get back inside. The skeleton soldiers are gathering to attack. Zane tells Dravenfeng to disrupt their formation and prevent them from using it. Dravenfeng charges forward with his swords, shattering it with his blade storm skill. Meanwhile, someone tells a clan leader that if the fight continues, all the rewards will go to those people from the God Slayers. The greedy leader tells him to go inform the other clan leaders of the guild, because they can't let the others take the boss reward. Zane can't stand this demon slaughtering people, so he's about to unleash all his fire magic against it. But before he can, the clan leader comes up from behind, making it clear that they are here for the rewards, as they can't let his God Slayers guild take them all. Hearing this foolishness, Zane is in utter disbelief at what he just heard. Do they really think they can defeat the boss on their own? Besides being useless, they're just being a nuisance. So Zane shows no interest in arguing with them. If they want the rewards, they can get them on their own, since the skeleton boss is right in front of them. Meanwhile, the Skeleton King prepares to strike. The Golden Skeleton King launches an all-out attack, but to Zane's surprise, Shyla, who he thought had already left, steps in and blocks the blow with her Shield of Light ability. She realized their team didn't have a healer, so she decided to help. Meanwhile, Kale warns Reina to be careful, but her left leg becomes trapped, leaving her unable to move. As the Golden Skeleton King prepares to strike again, someone unexpectedly intervenes and blocks the attack. With his bare hands, he tells Reina to go rest and leave this to him. The Skeleton King boasts about its strength, but the man calmly draws his sword and challenges it to show just how powerful the so-called God of Death truly is. The man strikes, but as expected, the Skeleton King barely feels it. Laughing at the blow, it taunts him, claiming it felt like nothing more than a tickle. The man, however, replies, saying that he's just getting started, and enters a state of rage. In this form, he sacrifices 1% of his health points every second, gaining a 10% increase in his strength. Making him even more dangerous, he lunges forward, delivering a furious strike. It slams into the Skeleton King with force, taking out 3,000 health points. Although the Skeleton King loses some health, it's not enough to stop it. Roaring with rage, it vows to make the man pay for daring to attack it, and swings its massive weapon. The man holds his own weapon firmly, jumps into the air to counterattack. Zane realizes the man is using his own life points to strengthen himself, but with so few remaining, one mistake could mean his end. The Skeleton King attacks the man with all his might, believing it will be enough to kill him, but to his surprise, the damage stops at just 1 life point. The man's immortal body talent activates, making him immune to any damage. For 60 seconds, the attacks feel like nothing more than tickles, and he can withstand many more blows. As weak as these. Enraged, the Skeleton King attacks again, but even a full vicious slash fails to deal any damage. Zane watches as the man takes every blow without a scratch, realizing how strong he is with his life dwindling. The Skeleton King pauses its attacks. Seeing this as his chance, the man counterattacks and unleashes a final combination attack, defeating the Skeleton King all by himself. The Skeleton King drops the Ring of the Undead, a level 40 legendary item. The ring increases all attributes by 10 points, and its built-in skill Power of Death increases the ring's attributes by 50% for every player killed. Zane notes that the ring is an evil piece of equipment, and if it falls into the hands of an evil player, it could cause serious problems. Zane thanks the man for his help, but the man reveals he only did it for Shirley. Suddenly, Hannah runs up and hugs him, calling him Big Brother. It is then that Zane realizes this is the older brother Shirley was looking for. The man reassures her, saying he is okay, and hands her the Ring of the Undead. The system then announces that player 886 has stopped the invasion of the Golden Skeleton King world boss, and that a new city Pochosiri has been opened. The older brother says goodbye to everyone, telling them to get their rewards, because this place is now part of the past. They all collect their rewards: Golden City, Soul Armor, Golden Belt, Golden Bow of the Dead, Peony, and Golden Cloaks. Zane receives Golden Boots that provide a 5-point increase in all attributes, and increases movement speed by 100% for 20 seconds, with a 3-minute cooldown. It is a huge gain for him, and with the new city open, he is one step closer to finding Mason. The group admires their new weapons as they reach the outskirts of Poxel City. It is clear that the city is a world apart from Hope Town. King Long feels uneasy while Ryan finds the towering buildings intimidating. The city's demon tower looms before them, 100 floors high. Only those who conquer the tower are fit to enter the Ion Tower. Zane remembers his past life where he survived in the apocalypse for 8 years and only reached the 50th floor. The monsters inside the city's demon tower are ferocious, but the rewards are well worth it. The higher the floor, the better the treasures. Zane wonders just how good the Ion Tower must be. Meanwhile, on the highest floor of the Ion Tower, the man watches Zane, saying calmly, "The real game begins now." Zane notices a group of people in a hurry, discussing as they run. Because the city's demon tower will close in a few hours, everyone is panicking about being late. Zane steps in and explains to his friends that the demon tower only opens every 7 days. He suggests they take the opportunity and grab some rewards from the lower floors before it closes, since they have no other missions at the moment. Everyone agrees, and Zane casually places a hand on Rania's brother's shoulder, suggesting they check out the tower together. Of course, this is just an excuse for him to copy his divine-level talent Immortal Body from him. But the Demon Tower is a solo dungeon, so they decide to split up temporarily and meet later. As usual, Shane charges forward without hesitation since it's a training area. The group enters the tower and begins to clear the floors, one by one, after passing the 5th floor. Zane levels up to 40 and earns some rewards. At this rate, he imagines that clearing a few more floors won't be too difficult. Meanwhile, on the 7th floor, a voice from the darkness demands to know who dares disturb its mealtime. The voice belongs to Khan, a level 55 demon warrior, and is the boss of the Poshel City invasion. After the invasion failed, he was sealed inside the demon tower. Zane realizes that something is wrong. Khan was supposed to be a 15th floor boss, but here he is on the 7th floor. He's going to need to be careful. Khan charges at Zane, but when the black dragon attacks, with its fire breath it deals no damage to Zane. He quickly realizes he can't win this fight. Khan's attacks are much stronger than before. The tower is about to close in just 10 seconds, and with almost no health points left, Zane knows he's in a tough spot. But he holds his ground, points his sword at Khan, and tells him to bring it on. Provoked, Khan lunges for a final attack, but just as he swings his weapon, the tower shuts down. Time is up and Zane is teleported out. Back outside, Zane breathes a sigh of relief. Realizing how ferocious the monsters were in there, he was lucky the timing worked out, or he would be dead by now. Rania notices her brother isn't with them, but both Kaylin and Zane reassure her, saying he must have gone somewhere. Zane insists that her brother is strong enough to take care of himself, although Rania is still visibly tense. Then the system announces a new special mission, a guild war in Fountain City. All the major guilds are invited to sign up, and the first guild battle will take place in Energy City. Rania is curious about the teleportation device listed as a reward. Zhongwei explains that it's one of the best items in the game, although it doesn't help much in combat. If placed in the right spot, a person could charge teleportation fees every day and make a fortune. Zhongwei realizes this could help him find Mutin faster. He tells everyone to rest for now because in 4 hours, they will need to prepare for the guild war. He then asks King Long and Xiao Yu if they want to join his guild, since it's short on members. They both agree. Meanwhile, on the 8th floor of the Demon Tower, Rania's brother is still trapped there even after the tower closed. Realizing something must have gone wrong, he notices a figure standing in the shadows. He demands the figure to step forward, and a man with a weapon emerges, attacking with a warning. "You shouldn't have come here." The man mutters that all intruders must die. The older brother asks the man if he is an NPC, a guardian, or a player, but the man says he is none of them. He rushes to attack, trying to slit his throat as he ascends to the heavens. But the moment the older brother activates his immortality skill, he stops. Suddenly, upon recognizing the divine-level talent, the man gives him an option, revealing that he's not in a good mood today. So if the older brother promises to keep today's matter a secret, he will spare him, and in exchange, he will tell him a secret about the apocalypse. He said that it won't be long before the apocalypse faces a catastrophe, from which no one can survive. Unless, however, he doesn't complete the sentence and tells the older brother that's all he can say, and that he needs to figure out the rest on his own. Before leaving, the older brother asks how he can get out of this place, but the man says that in 7 days, the tower will open again. That's when he can leave. Sweat trickled down as the older brother realized that the man stopped when he saw the god-level talent. So he wonders if the catastrophe is related to the god-level talent. Now he's worried that the catastrophe might actually exist. Meanwhile, Zhang Wei meets with his guildmates and says that now that everyone has rested, it's time to go to Fountain City and give it their all. Everyone is excited and eager to see what will happen next in Fountain City. The announcement stated that players who die here will not lose their chance to revive, they will not lose equipment, and will only lose 20% of the crystals obtained in Fountain City. The duration is 4 hours. The guilds will be ranked according to the crystals, and the ranking will be updated from time to time. The crystal has a fixed location but often appears where the boss guards it. Zhang Yi gathers everyone to discuss their strategy. He tells his team that they have a numerical disadvantage, so they need to find areas close to each other. That way, when one place is attacked, nearby teammates can go help. Zhang Yi tells everyone to split up. They all move to their positions. Everyone is fiercely dealing with different creatures. Zhang Yi occupies a rank 3 post at the water crystal mine. The system displays the guild rankings. In first place is the Heroes of Scorn Guild, with 20 people and 10,600 crystals. In second place is the Hunt Gods Guild, with 5 people and a total of 3,000 crystals. In third place is the Gate of Promise Guild, with 10 people and 4,600 crystals. Zhang Yi notes that his 5 members are occupying one water crystal mine. It's a 3rd level one, and if they want to reach a higher rank, they need to occupy more mines. Meanwhile, the leader of the Gate of Promise Guild, Zalheim, sees that Zhang Yi's guild has only 5 people, and each mine has a weak defense. They have many more members than Zhang Yi's team, so he tells his members that, if they attack each mine at the same time, they can easily steal them. Zalheim tells his team to attack. They assault Rania's mine and capture her. Zalheim tells his comrades to finish her. While Zhang Yi is fighting monsters on one side, he receives an alert that Rania is in danger. He turns his back on the monster to save Rania, and the monster seizes the opportunity to attack him from behind. However, Xiao Rei, his pet black dragon, defends against the attack with its fire breath. Zhang Yi equips his golden boots and leaves the place to Xiao Rei while he goes to help Rania. The system announces that Zhang Yi has used the golden boots skill, Golden Speed. This skill increases his speed by 100% and lasts for 20 seconds, helping him reach Rania faster. Zalheim presses a sharp blade against Rania's throat, saying sarcastically that it's a shame that such a beautiful face will be wasted. Then he asks Rania if she claims to have companions. Then why doesn't he see anyone coming for her? After hearing a noise behind him, Zalheim turns and sees Zhang Yi approaching. Zalheim immediately orders his members to capture Zhang Yi. As Zalheim's members attack Zhang Yi, he blows right past them, scattering them. He stands in front of Zalheim and calls him shameless for attacking a single girl with his entire team. Zalheim yells at Zhang Yi, demanding to know who he thinks he is to lecture him, and how dare he attack his people. Roaring with anger, Zalheim declares that Zhang Yi must die for interfering in his business. Zalheim charges towards Zhang Yi, but Zhang Yi rushes forward at bullet speed with his sword, leaving Zalheim shocked and saying that their fate is to be killed by his sword. When Zhang Yi defeats Zalheim, a notification appears, informing everyone that Zalheim was killed by Zhang Yi, who obtained 500 crystals. Zhang Yi turns to Rania and asks if she is okay. Rania assures him that she is fine, saying he arrived just in time. Sometime later, the leader of the Demon Guild, Citus, approaches Zane and Rania, applauding as he comments. He sarcastically remarks that a hero is saving a beauty, then greets Rania with a smile. He says he never expected to meet her there again, then demands that Zane stay away from Rania, claiming she belongs to him. Rania tells Zane to ignore Citus, informing him that Citus is a shameless bastard who has already harassed her in the real world. Zane grabs Rania's hand and begins to pull her away, but then Citus calls out to Zane, challenging him to a duel. He offers a 10th rank crystal mine if Zane wins, but if he loses, he will have to hand over Rania. Zane rejects the offer, saying he is not interested in dealing with a peacock, like him. Citus is offended by Zane's rejection, demanding to know how he dared to refuse his offer. And refuse him, Citus launches a sword attack at Zane and Rania. Seeing the attack approaching, Zane shields Rania, telling her to be careful and promising to get her out of there as soon as he deals with Citus. Zane leaps towards Citus, but Citus snarls that none of them are allowed to leave. In the next moment, flying swords knock the weapon from Zane's hand, and he realizes he has no time to retaliate. He watches as Citus rushes towards him. In a few seconds, Citus manages to pierce Zane with his sword. He gloats that he possesses a legendary level talent. Rania screams Zane's name, but suddenly, a blue-violet energy begins to radiate around Zane. Zane reveals that he possesses a divine level skill. On the city street, the battle between Zane and Citus unfolds. Citus attacks. With the glowing blue energy from his sword, Zane catches the blade, stopping it from piercing his shoulder. Citus is shocked to witness this. Zane challenges him, saying that if his legendary talent is really that strong, then he should come and try again. In the next second, Zane removes the sword from his shoulder with ease and shoves it aside, shocking Citus once more. Citus wonders how this is possible, thinking it must be an illusion. He yells to the rest of his guild members, ordering them to come out and kill Zane. Zane questions Citus, asking if this is his so-called fair battle, when he secretly planned an ambush beforehand. Citus yells at Zane, declaring that he must kill him today. Citus's members rise into the air and surround Zane, trying to capture him. Zane realizes this is convenient, as he was worried he would not have enough crystals. He envelops himself in his blue-violet energy, blocking their attacks. Citus's members scream in panic, calling Zane a monster, and crying out that he used his body to block all their attacks, as if his body were an endless black hole. Then, suddenly, a massive black dragon with glowing red eyes appears behind Zane. Zane tells them that if they are done attacking him, it is now his turn. In the next moment, the dragon breathes fire at Citus. Citus screams at Zane, telling him not to think he will hand over his crystals. Furious over his defeat, Zhang Wei punches Situ Yan, finishing him off completely. A notification appears, informing that Zhang Wei killed Situ Yan and obtained 100 crystals. Zhang Wei smiles, saying he knew Situ Yan wouldn't keep his promises. Raniaru appears and asks Garu what happened and if everyone is all right. Garu reassures her, saying everyone is fine. He explains that just a moment ago, the Promise Guild and the Heroes of Scorn Guild attacked, but they were all defeated by Zhang Wei. After some time, they check their guild's ranking. Zhang Wei informs everyone that they now have only 30 minutes left, and if they want to stay above the Heroes of Scorn Guild, the only way is to leverage their long range and take out all the guild's members. They realize they will need an expert to pull this off. Raniaru steps forward and asks King Long to try, since he is a professional archer. King Long apologizes, saying he doesn't think he can do it. He remembers losing many times in the finals of the archery championship, failing miserably despite trying his best. He recalls people calling him useless, trash, and mentally weak. Deep down, King Long accepts that maybe he isn't really suited for shooting arrows. Zhang Wei places a hand on King Long's shoulder, saying he is the best archer he has ever seen and that he has the best accuracy. Zhang Wei reminds him how he saved everyone in the Tomb of the Dragon's Crown, even in such a dire situation. He still managed to accurately hit the eyes of the Dragon's Crown. Compared to that, hitting the members of the Heroes of Scorn Guild will be a piece of cake for him. King Long agrees, saying he will do his best. Everyone cheers as King Long climbs onto the roof, aims at Situ Yan and his members, takes his stance, and fires an arrow at Situ Yan. Situ Yan is with his team, bragging that he wanted to show off in front of Raniaru, but he never expected some kid to steal his spotlight. One of his members reassures him, saying that as soon as they secure first place, Raniaru will know who is stronger. Another member agrees, saying the competition is almost over, and their opponents can't possibly catch up to their crystal count. Suddenly, an arrow shot by King Long pierces Situ Yan's shoulder, making him cry out in pain. Enraged, Situ Yan demands to know who shot him, his eyes widening when he sees King Long. King Long smiles, promising to finish them all at once. King Long then leaps from the building, and everyone charges forward to attack the Heroes of Scorn Guild. The system updates, showing the number of people and crystals. Xuan Wei easily defeats a guild member with a single swing of her sword, earning 200 crystals, while King Long climbs onto another roof, lining up his shot. The countdown for the guild war begins with 50 seconds remaining. 35 seconds later, King Long fires his arrow with only 12 seconds remaining, as arrows rain down on a nearby group, at a cluster of crystals, finally eliminating them. Time runs out, and a voice from the airship announces that everyone should congratulate the guild, Hunt God, for becoming the champion of Fountain City. The system updates again, showing the final count of people and crystals. Zane praises King Long, saying he is incredible and confirming that he knew King Long was the strongest archer. The other members echo his praise. Meanwhile, the members of the Heroes of Scorn Guild ask Cillian why they are not going after the Hunt God Guild. Cillian scolds them, saying he has already lost enough in front of Reyna. At that moment, a large chest falls from the sky toward the Hunt God Guild. The announcer declares it is the champion's reward they won in the Fountain City Guild War, and instructs them to check it. Upon opening the chest, they find a variety of useful devices. Zane picks up a teleportation device, thinking this will make travel much easier and more convenient. Cillian approaches Zane, telling him to be careful during the alien race event. He warns that the Gods Guild has already taken notice of him, and that his life will not be easy. With that, Cillian turns and walks away. A curious Reyna asks Zane what Cillian meant by the alien race and the Gods Guild. Zane admits he is not sure, but thinks it might be related to the black-cloaked figures that appeared in the Dragon Crown's tomb. As night falls, Zane walks down a carved hallway toward his guild members, unaware that he is being watched by a purple-haired girl from behind a wall. As she passes, the purple-haired girl deliberately bumps into Reyna, apologizing rudely and telling her to get out of the way. In the process, she steals a ring from Reyna's inventory using her assassin-class skill, which allows her to steal items. King Long yells at the purple-haired girl to watch where she is going since she bumped into Reyna. Reyna eyes the purple-haired girl with suspicion, realizing her ring has vanished. She tells Zane she is a thief, as the ring her brother gave her is gone. The purple-haired girl immediately breaks into a run, and Zane orders King Long to pursue her. However, the girl leaps onto a nearby roof, smiling at them before vanishing. King Long approaches Zane, asking if he managed to capture the thief. Zane replies that he could not, as she used a teleporter to escape to Moonlight City. King Long asks about Moonlight City, wondering if it belongs to another race. Zane confirms this, adding that the Gods Guild mentioned by Cillian might be connected to the alien race, and they need to investigate the Moon City. Janice also remembers that improving the talent of the dragon race requires prestige from all three camps, and only 9 of them can use the prestige of the alien race. He realizes they could also find out more about Muton in the new city. Zane turns to Kinglan and Ra-Aru, saying they will stay behind with the others in case Ra-Aru's brother shows up and can't find them. Ra-Aru agrees, asking him to be careful, and Kinglan reassures Zane, saying he will protect Ra-Aru. Zane adjusts the teleportation device, configuring it so he can return at any moment if something goes wrong. He steps into the device and orders the man to teleport him to the Moonlight City of the alien race. The man in the uniform nods, agreeing to the request. In Moonlight City, Zane receives a notification that he has been teleported there, but at the cost of 100 gold coins. He mutters to himself, complaining that the teleportation fee is too high, and just like that, 100 gold coins disappear. As he walks through the city, he suddenly hears someone cry for help. He wonders who could be screaming at this late hour, but quickly realizes that Moonlight City is not exactly the safest place. Following the sound, he spots 3 men intimidating a girl who is sitting on the ground, leaning against a wall, looking helpless. The girl begs them to stay away, but they laugh, taunting her to keep running if she's so good at it. One of the men raises his sword to strike, but Zane quickly steps forward and positions himself between the girl and the men. The man roars at Zane, asking who he is and if he knows the consequences of provoking them. Without hesitation, Zane strikes the man with his sword, replying that he knows they shouldn't be bullying a little girl. The blow makes the man stagger, and he quickly orders the other 2 to run, admitting that Zane is stronger than them. As the men flee, Zane turns, looks at the girl, and asks why they were after her. The girl nervously admits that she just stole a boss kill from them, and they have been after her ever since. Zane asks her who they are and why they are so arrogant. The girl replies that they are from the Gods Guild, and everyone in Moonlight City is afraid of them. Zane puts the pieces together. Those men are from the Gods Guild, and their clothes resemble those worn by the mysterious figures in the Dragon's Crown tomb. After this exchange, Zane decides to leave, telling the girl she should hurry home, as it's dangerous for someone like her to be out so late, but the girl stops him, asking him not to leave. Zane turns around and asks why she is following him. The girl hesitantly admits that she is afraid those men will come back for her. Zane, with a slight gesture, tells her to follow him. She agrees, promising not to be a burden to him, since she knows the city well and can help him if necessary. Zane takes her to a hotel and rents 2 rooms. He sees her safely to her room, then goes to his own and lies down, finally relaxing after a long day. That night, while he is fast asleep, the girl enters his room, holding a knife in her hand. She walks towards him, thinking this is her chance to claim 10,000 gold coins. She lunges at Zane, but he effortlessly dodges the knife, still half asleep. The girl chuckles to herself, wondering how he will escape the next blow. However, Zane suddenly wakes up and slaps her across the face, mistaking her for Muchin and accusing her of betrayal. The girl winces in pain, clutching her face. Zane quickly realizes she isn't Muchin, but the girl he brought with him earlier. Confused, he asks why she is in his room. She answers innocently, claiming she had a nightmare about the men chasing her and got scared. Zane pulls her into the bed beside him. He reassures her not to worry and promises to keep watch, while she rests. As the girl lies down next to him, Zane watches her carefully. Realizing she might be slowly luring him in, he wonders what trick she has up her sleeve. The next morning, Zane and the girl are standing outside the Moonlight Church in the city. Zane asks her if she is sure that the members of the Gods Club are inside. The girl confirms, explaining that she secretly followed them, but lost their trail after they entered the church. At that moment, Muchin appears behind them, eyeing the girl with interest. Finding her attractive, he reaches a hand out towards her, trying to grab her arm, but Zane turns, grabs Muchin's wrist, and recognizes him. A surprised Muchin yells at Zane, demanding to know who he is and how he knows his name. Zane calmly closes his eyes to focus, takes one lunchbox from his bag, and throws it at Muchin's face, coldly replying that he is not worthy of knowing his name. Muchin crashes to the ground, smashing one of the stalls. The citizens of Moonlight City watch in shock. Someone comments that Muchin, another calls it karma, saying things have gotten interesting. Muchin grinds his teeth and asks Zhang Ye who he is, and if he has a death wish. The little girl interrupts, telling Zhang Ye that Muchin is one of the area's leaders, and warns him not to provoke him. Zhang Ye replies that Muchin is exactly the person he wants to take down. He glares at Muchin, thinking about how he expected someone like him, someone who betrayed him in the past, and now bullies others. He will be the one to face him. The system announces that player Muchin has activated stealth. Muchin charges forward, weapon in hand, declaring that he will kill him. Zhang is attacked for invading his territory, and he realizes it's the assassin's stealth move that completely erases a person's presence. It allows them to attack from the shadows. He senses Mutian's approach, but the assassin still lands a blow, injuring Zhang's face, and flashbacks of painful memories flood Zhang's mind as he recognizes the move. This is the same tactic Mutian used to ambush him last time. As Mutian leaps into the air to attack again, Zhang blocks the attack with his sword, determined not to let history repeat itself. Mutian is shocked, wondering how Zhang can predict his movements when he can't even see him. Zhang answers the unspoken question, saying that he will never forget Mutian's moves, no matter what. With that, he kicks Mutian to the ground and taunts him. He asks if Mutian really thought he could kill him, adding that now they will see who truly has skill. Mutian grinds his teeth and demands to know who Zhang is. Cursing his bad luck for encountering such a skilled opponent, Zhang raises his sword to attack. But suddenly, a dark figure emerges from the ground, taking Mutian away in an instant. Zhang realizes it is the same group of black hooded figures trying to rescue Mutian. He yells for them to stop, but they disappear with him. Afterwards, Zhang and the girl arrive at the spot where the dark figure vanished with Mutian. The girl tells him that this is the place he was looking for, the Moonlight Church, the headquarters of the Gods Guild. She warns that it is dangerous inside and that they might have lured him here, on purpose. She asks if Zhang is sure he wants to enter, and he confirms, saying he has his reasons. She warns that entering without a plan will definitely attract attention. It will draw the attention of the Gods Guild, so she reveals 2 hallucination pills in her hand, much to Zhang's surprise. He asks why she carries them. She whispers that every solo player should have some, as it's a necessity. Next, she tells him their target is coming. Zhang uses the hallucination pills to knock out some soldiers, rendering them unconscious with a touch. He orders them to sleep silently. Afterwards, he and the girl put on the soldiers' uniforms and approach the church entrance. Meanwhile, in a secret chamber inside the Moonlight Church, Mutian wakes up. Coughing and disoriented, he asks where he is. A light-haired man smiles scornfully, asking if Mutian is frustrated after being defeated by the stranger. Mutian shouts, demanding to know who the man is and why he was brought there. The light-haired man replies coldly, saying a hostage has no right to ask questions. From now on, Mutian's only choice is to stay still. Otherwise, he will die before he even realizes it. Zhang and the girl approach the soldiers in disguise, stopping at the church door. Zhang tells them they are here to change shifts, and that they should go rest. One of the soldiers agrees, saying he is more than ready for a nap, while the other warns them not to sleep on the job. As Zhang and the girl enter, one of the soldiers suddenly turns and grabs Zhang, saying it's not, by waving her hand in the air, releasing hallucination pills once inside. She informs Zhang Ye that the person he is looking for must be in there. He takes off his mask, but the little girl surprises him by removing her uniform, saying that her mission is complete. Zhang Ye turns to her, confused about her intentions, as she slams the door, trapping him inside. Outside, a soldier hands her a package as a reward. She takes it, then internally tells Zhang Ye that she forgot to mention that betrayal is common in Moonlight City. Trapped inside, Zhang Ye quickly realizes that the little girl was sent by the Guild of the Gods, just as he suspected. He decides he needs to see for himself why they went to such extremes to lure him there. He throws his helmet on the ground and continues down the corridor. Suddenly, he notices flames, pink flames on the walls, and a group of people sitting on the floor. One of them, a huge guy, declares that he can easily take care of Zhang Ye and that it was a waste for the boss to summon all of them. Another man with glowing green eyes shouts at the giant, telling him the boss must have his reasons. If he thinks he can handle Zhang Ye, then he should go ahead. The big guy grins and accepts the challenge, boasting that he will show them how he will crush Zhang Ye. He stomps hard on the ground, grabs his weapon and hurls it at Zhang Ye, yelling for him to catch his axe. As the weapon approaches, Zhang Ye pauses, feeling the immense force behind it. He extends his palm and casts the spell summoning crows. Instantly, numerous crows appear in the sky, flying in every direction. Zhang Ye realizes that after using this spell, the number of crows will double. Moments later, there is a loud crash. The big guy grabs his weapon again and leaps toward Zhang Ye, mocking that a silly crow trick won't defeat him. He swings his axe at Zhang Ye, but Zhang Ye calmly draws his sword, stabs it into the ground, and creates a wall of ice in front of him. The big guy is shocked, curses and slips on the ground. His head spins, and Zhang Ye taunts him, saying that big people are bad at balancing. The giant screams at Zhang Ye, accusing him of playing dirty. The green-eyed man, the one with glowing eyes, turns to the long-haired man and says, "Their boss was right, they will have to intervene." The long-haired man replies that he really does not know what Zane is trying to prove. Without warning, the long-haired man lunges towards Zane, wrapping a bandage around his body. Zane is caught by surprise, and not expecting the attack, he suddenly finds himself trapped. As a barrier of sharp bones rises, closing in, panic sets in. Realizing he can't even move, and is about to crash into it, Zangir knows he is about to die. Facing the barrier of sharp bones, he immediately calls out his black dragon's name. Suddenly, a green energy begins to surround the area, and black emerges from it. The long-haired man is stunned, wondering how a normal beast tamer could possess such a powerful grade 1 dragon. With a roar, black begins to spread a brilliant flame everywhere. The long-haired man realizes they underestimated Zangir. As Zangir breaks free from his restraints and strikes, the long-haired man with his sword, knocking him to the ground, showing that it wasn't that they underestimated him. He was simply too strong. Zangir pats Black on the head, saying he hasn't seen him in a while, but he managed to reach level 1. The long-haired man asks the huge guy what they should do, because their intel didn't mention Zangir's level 1 Emperor Dragon. The huge guy replies that they have no choice but to take the risk. After that, the huge guy charges toward Zangir and Black, weapon in hand, screaming for Zangir to die. Zangir swings his magic sword, creating flame energy around it, and attacks them, demanding they kneel before him. As Zangir and Black strike them with flames, they all fall to the ground. On the frozen ground, their boss approaches the big guy, calling him by name and saying that's enough. He orders him to retreat, but Anne argues that he just needs more time. The boss cuts Anne off mid-sentence and glares at him, saying he ordered a retreat and that Anne will be the one to die if he keeps fighting. Everyone gets up, and the huge guy. And Anne tells Zangir that their battle isn't over yet, and next time, a winner will be decided. Zangir replies that if they're not afraid to die, he'll be happy to play next time. The boss approaches Zangir, saying they finally meet. He asks if this isn't Zangir's first time in the apocalypse. Zangir wonders who this man is and how he knows about him. Zangir tells the boss he has no idea what he's talking about. The boss tells Zangir there's no need to put on an act for him because he already knows the truth. Ever since Zangir entered the tomb of the hidden dragon crown to get the magic beast egg, Zangir says he doesn't want to waste time with him and demands to know where Mutin is, telling him to bring them here. The boss asks why Zangir is in such a hurry and explains that he brought him here because he wants to work with him, and if Zangir agrees, then they alone can uncover the secret of regression. He offers the best equipment and unlimited wealth in the apocalypse. The boss then warns Zangir, summoning his enormous and terrifying monsters behind him, saying that if he refuses, he won't get out of here alive. Zangir refuses the offer, thinking that the promise of equipment and riches comes from the oppression of the poor. As Zangir refuses, the boss's 2 monsters charge towards him. With a roar, Zane realizes he just used his immortality and it is now on cooldown. Still unaware of its full power, he hastily attacks, but the situation is not in his favor. He clutches the teleportation device in his hand, feeling grateful that he had luckily set the coordinates. Back in Dawn City, Zane teleports and vanishes, dissolving into pixels. The boss sighs, thinking that this time he will let him go, but next time he will not be so lucky. He turns and looks at Morton, who is sitting on the ground. The boss tells Morton that Zane must want to take his life, because there must be some resentment between them. The boss turns around, asking Morton if he really thinks Zane will let him go. Morton screams in panic, saying that Zane is going to kill him. The boss kneels in front of Morton, saying that he just needs to kill Zane. Before Zane kills him, he stands up looking at Morton, reassuring him not to worry, and that he will help him kill Zane. The boss thinks that everyone must obey him in the apocalypse, but since Zane rejected him, all that awaits Zane is death. Zane teleports to another location, his mind racing. He barely escaped the dragon's breath. If he had arrived 1 second later, he would have been finished. The boss's Class 2 Emperor dragons seem really difficult to deal with, and Zane can't help but wonder who this boss is. And how does he know that he is a regressor? He begins to suspect that the boss might be just like him at that moment. The system fairy appears, telling Zane that his fatigue is at its limit and urging him to rest at a nearby rest point. Zane realizes he is exhausted from his trip to Moon City. He needs to rest at the inn. Rania will start to worry if he does not return soon. Upon entering the inn, the receptionist informs him that he has selected the express recovery service, which costs 20 gold coins. Zane overhears some people talking about him. One person is shocked that he is spending money to recover his fatigue bar. Another person comments that everyone is sitting around, recovering slowly. And someone said that 20 gold coins could buy an entire set of equipment. Zane checks his balance and sees that he still has 30,000 gold coins remaining. He decides that he will need to upgrade his equipment soon. Meanwhile, Rania is sitting next to Yao, wondering where Zane is. Yao, looking worried, comments that their leader might be in danger. Suddenly, Zane approaches from behind them and reassures them, saying that he is fine with his skills. He says he still has energy to spare after facing an entire guild alone. Rania and Yao breathe a sigh of relief upon seeing him. Zane smiles awkwardly at Rania, telling her that he has not yet found any information about the Ring of Death, but he is determined to get it back. Rania smiles back, saying it's all right. She only lost because she wasn't paying attention, and is just happy that he returned safely. She asks Jiang if he saw King Long. Jiang replies that he asked King Long to gather some intelligence since the purple-haired thief arrived in Dawn City, and she must have left some clues. Just then, King Long approaches them. Jiang greets him and asks if he found anything. King Long replies that he has important information. The ring, stolen from Rania, will be auctioned tonight. Jiang immediately remembers the faces of Mutian, the boss, and the girl. If the ring is being auctioned, it means the thief will also be there. Jiang thinks this could also be a good opportunity to get some high-quality equipment. After all, the challenges ahead won't be easy. Everyone agrees to go to the auction. At the venue, the host announces that the monthly auction is about to begin, showcasing rare pets, high-quality equipment, and valuable tools. Rania turns to Jiang and asks if he isn't going in with them. Jiang tells her to go on ahead without him, as he has some business to take care of. He walks away, remembering a hidden menu in a shop from his past life. It sells great items, but isn't well known. Jiang finds the shop, and the shopkeeper asks what he's looking for. Jiang considers the situation. Dealing with a ring thief isn't too difficult, but there are many eyes at the auction house. If he makes any big moves, he might attract unwanted attention. He decides to prepare some items in advance. He asks the shopkeeper for some pancakes and fruit, paying the full price. The shopkeeper gives him access to the secret menu and asks what he wants to buy now. The system congratulates Jiang for unlocking the hidden menu and shows that he has 1,000 gold coins. He picks up a green potion. Jiang remembers that only 5% of the players in Apocalypse have unlocked the hidden menu. Although these potions are expensive, they are much more powerful than common ones. Jiang decides to buy them all. The shopkeeper praises his choice, saying he's the first customer to discover this special stock. Jiang checks his inventory and feels a pang of regret. He just spent 4,000 gold coins in an instant. Even so, he hopes the mission will be successful this time. Jiang enters the auction house and wonders why it's so quiet. Did he go to the wrong place? The host announces that the starting bid for a scroll of sheepskin is 100 gold coins and asks if anyone wants to buy it. The audience groans, impatient for something valuable. Jiang approaches Rania and asks if the Ring of Death is being auctioned. Rania tells him it hasn't come up yet, as they are auctioning a sheepskin scroll of unknown origin. The host, looking disappointed, announces that, since no one wants the sheepskin scroll, she will remove it. Zane remembers that the sheepskin scroll contains the secret quest of the dragon race in his past life. Major clans and guilds went crazy, trying to get their hands on it. He raises his hand and bids 100 gold coins. The audience laughs at him, calling him a clueless, rich boy for spending so much on something they consider worthless. Someone comments that even if it were free, they wouldn't take it. The host hands the scroll to Zane. He knows that, to others, the sheepskin scroll is no different from toilet paper. But for players of the dragon faction, like him, it is a treasure. Once he completes the hidden quest, he will get his hands on the exclusive dragon equipment, and everyone will be envious. The host announces that the next item is the Ring of Death, a legendary grade item. With a starting bid of 10,000 gold coins, the audience murmurs excitedly, wondering who brought such an expensive item. Honey whispers to Zane and gestures towards a suspicious man with fangs, saying that he looks shady. Zane agrees, observing that with that appearance, the guy with fangs must be from Frostpike City, the main city of the Beast faction. He wonders why a member of the Beast faction is in the main city of the Human faction. Honey praises Zane, saying that he knows everything. Zane laughs and ruffles her hair, saying he simply read about the Beast faction when choosing his own faction. The guy with fangs stands up, drawing everyone's attention, and announces that he is claiming the Ring of Death. He warns everyone not to bother bidding, because he will double any offer. Some people in the audience wonder what is so special about the ring, while others realize they have no chance of outbidding the rich guy with fangs. A man steps forward, calling the fanged guy a bastard from the Beast faction, and demanding to know what gives him the right to cause trouble in the main city of the Human faction. The guy with fangs punches him, asking if he is qualified. Now another man suggests that the first man leave quickly, as the guy with fangs is not someone they can afford to offend at that moment. Zane places a hand on the man's shoulder, glares at the fanged guy, and declares that as long as he is present, he can surely forget about getting that ring. The guy with fangs is young Master Joe, as Ian informs Shuai that Zane is the one he mentioned before, and that he has divine talent. Joe looks at Zane with rage, declaring that since he dared to provoke the blood sect of Frostpike City, death is the only thing that awaits him, no matter his divine talent. Zane whispers to King Long and Fen, asking them to create a distraction to buy time and make everything chaotic. King Long and Fen agree without hesitation, saying they are experts at causing trouble. The two approach the crowd and Fen shouts, asking everyone if this is human territory, and why they are letting the beast race run rampant here. King Long adds, agreeing with Fenris, that if this gets out, everyone will be too ashamed to show their faces in Dawn City. The crowd starts to get agitated, murmuring that if they don't do something, they'll be the ones who end up getting beaten. They challenge the beast race to a fight. King Long observes the members of the beast race dressed in fur coats and comments that they have been annoying him from the start. He then asks if they aren't worried about getting allergies from wearing fur coats in such heat. Fenris, shouting from behind, says there's no need to argue. With people like that, they should just attack. A full-blown battle begins. With everyone fighting as if it were the end of the world, a man from the beast race grabs King Long and shouts that after so many years in this business, it's the first time he's seen people wanting to die. Jay takes his advanced invisibility potion, opens the lid, and drinks it immediately. He becomes invisible and undetectable. For 3 minutes, he follows up with an advanced fog potion, creating a thick fog in a target location that cannot be dispelled for 3 minutes. As the battle rages on, Jay grabs an advanced burning potion. He throws it at the beast race members, and the potion explodes into flames, provoking screams and curses from the beast race. The announcer is with his assistant, who holds a tray containing the death ring. Jay, still invisible, moves toward her. Eyeing the ring, he thinks to himself that no one is getting it today. Except for him, he grabs it and puts it on his finger, moving behind Shade. Jay swings his fist, thinking that the arrogant Shade is now the one getting hit. He attacks Shade in the head from behind, knocking him to the ground. Sutton rushes to Shade's side, asking if he's okay. Shade screams into the air, demanding that the idiot who dared to hit him reveal himself. Jay kicks Shade and Sutton, knocking them down again, and places his foot on Sutton's chest to stop them. From getting up, Sutton shouts, asking who ambushed them since they can't see him. Due to his invisibility, Shade swears that whoever keeps attacking him will die. The system bar informs Jay that the invisibility potion is about to run out in 10 seconds, realizing that time is running out. Jay decides to deal with Shade and Sutton. Later he activates his Golden Flash skill, doubling his speed for 20 seconds and immediately flees, leaving King Long and Fenris to continue stomping on Shade and Sutton, along with the others. Shade yells at them angrily, asking if they are blind, and demanding they stop stepping on him. Sutton, with tears in his eyes, cries that he is from the human race, and that they are attacking the wrong person. As soon as the invisibility potion expires, Jay sends a message in the group chat, informing everyone that the mission is accomplished and telling them to retreat and meet in the alley. In front of the auction house, Feng Duan and O respond, agreeing to meet him there later. Zane is in the alley in front of the auction house when his companions approach. Rania asks if he is okay, mentioning how worried she was when he suddenly disappeared. Zane shows her the ring in the palm of his hand, saying he got it, but explains that, to protect the auction items, the system has implemented a seal. He tells them that if an item is privately removed from the auction, it will return to the owner's inventory in 3 minutes. They wonder if their efforts were in vain, but Zane reassures them, saying he will use the seal to track the thief and follow the item to the consignor's location. He sets the teleportation point to the beacon, and the system announces that the teleportation point has been set. Rania exclaims with excitement, impressed by Zane's cleverness, while Yao praises him, saying he knew he hadn't followed the wrong person. Zane turns to Rania, assuring her he'll bring it back as the 3 minutes are almost up. Zane is teleported to the beacon, thinking to himself that today he will unmask the thief for sure. Meanwhile, the ring suddenly appears in Divu's hand. The system informs her that the Ring of Death has returned due to an incident at the auction house. She wonders why the ring came back, and if Zane's group is approaching her at this very moment. The ring glows, and Zane appears immediately in front of her as soon as the teleportation is complete. He glares at her, saying he knew it was her, accusing her not only of stealing Rania's ring, but also of luring him into the Guild of the Gods trap. He demands to know what her plan is. Divu smiles, admitting she never thought he would escape the Guild of the Gods, but acknowledges that he is quite capable. Without warning, she turns and starts running. Zane gives chase, demanding that she stop and hand over the ring. He declares that she will explain herself today. Divu mocks him, saying he can only catch her in his dreams. Zane grabs her sweatshirt, but she slips away from him. He growls, saying he won't let her escape so easily. This time, they share a moment of silence before suddenly, a large axe flies towards them, shattering the stones. It's Juroi, who yells at Divu, asking why she stopped when she's so good at running. Zhu's eyes widen as he grins, seeing Zane with Divu. He suddenly realizes that the Beast faction possesses a prey tracking skill, allowing him to follow a target's scent for over 1,000 miles. Zhu laughs menacingly, saying he didn't waste his time chasing her, but now he's happy to find them working together. He declares that he will deal with both of them at the same time. Hearing this, Zane and Divu start running. Jaden asks her how many people she has offended, and why so many outsiders, and how many Beast factions hold grudges against her. She replies that it's all a misunderstanding, then grabbing his waist, she calls him brother, with tears in her eyes, and begs him not to leave her behind. Annoyed, Jaden asks when he became her brother. He reminds her that she didn't see him as a brother when she ambushed him. Zack charges towards them with his axe, shouting that they dare to flirt in front of him, and declares they can die together. Zack makes a sharp swing with his axe, causing the surroundings to glow with an intense orange light. A massive, giant beast appears behind him. Jaden remembers that the girl called him brother earlier, but she vanished the moment danger appeared. Zack attacks Jaden, shouting that he will show him what happens when someone dares to challenge him. The system announces that player Jaden has been hit by the beast skin charge, deducting his 800 health points. Jaden falls to the ground, clutching his stomach in pain. He realizes that Zack's attack power is extremely high, while the initial defense of a beast tamer is very low, causing him to lose a significant amount of health in just one hit. Jaden jumps to the edge of the roof and looks at Zack, who is still holding an axe. Zack yells at Jaden to hand over the girl, kneel, and apologize, so he might consider sparing his life. He accuses them, claiming he saw Jaden and the girl passionately embracing. Jaden looks at Zack with shock and confusion, demanding to know when he supposedly saw them acting intimately. He warns Zack to stop talking nonsense or else he'll sue him. Zack retorts, shouting that he clearly saw what the two of them were doing just moments ago. He recalls the scene where Jaden and the girl were sitting on the edge of the roof, with Jaden touching the girl's chin. He recognizes the girl's familiar scent and wonders if she is the one who escaped. He curses under his breath, thinking that they were acting so intimate in a place like this. After his accusations, Zack chuckles, saying that if he hadn't shown up, who knows what Jaden and the girl would be doing next. Jaden scoffs at Zack, saying sarcastically, "My hat's off to you, your trolling is on another level." Jaden changes his stance and attacks Zack with his sword, asking if he's a hopeless romantic in disguise. The system announces that player Zack has suffered burn damage, deducting 300 health points. Zack scoffs at Jaden, declaring that it's just a scratch, and that he can consider it a gift from him. Zack then unleashes blue energy at Jaden, stating he will show him the difference between their powers. As Zack gets closer, his eyes suddenly glow with luminous energy. Out of nowhere, a fiery yellow energy begins to surround Jaden. He wonders what's happening, because he's using the same skill, but the damage keeps increasing. Zack says that he forgot to mention that the lower his HP, the higher his damage. Jaden immediately drinks an advanced HP potion. The system informs that Jaden has recovered a large portion of his health, hundreds of points. Huo Renshui glares at Zhang Wei angrily and tries to attack him but misses. Zhang Wei straightens up and crosses his arms, taunting Huo Renshui by asking why he stopped attacking. Then Zhang Wei smirks, saying that since he's more generous than Huo Renshui, he'll take 1,000 points of damage himself. Huo Renshui grips his axe tightly, screaming that it's impossible and that he almost died. The girl watches the situation unfold and warns Zhang Wei that no matter how many potions he has, they'll be useless if he uses that move again. He confronts Zhang Wei, declaring that an advanced HP potion won't save him and that the real battle has just begun. He activates his skill, Blood Frenzy, and bright pink lightning begins to swirl around him, making him look even more terrifying. As he gains several hundred HP, Zhang Wei is shocked and wonders why Huo Rengshui's HP is increasing. Zhang Wei backs away from him and takes out a green potion, realizing he never expected Huo Rengshui to possess an epic-grade talent, one that allows him to recover HP by dealing damage. Huo Rengshui slowly closes in on Zhang Wei. Holding his glowing pink axe, he tells Zhang Wei that today, he will teach him the consequences of offending the Blood Sect. Zhang Wei stands on the edge of the roof, looking down at Huo Rengshui and taunting him. He says that relying on potions to fight a battle of attrition is useless. He then challenges Huo Rengshui, asking if he truly believes his blood frenzy is unbeatable. Zhang Wei faces an opponent who can absorb his health, but he has a clever trick up his sleeve. Instead of avoiding the damage, he intentionally takes a hit and drinks a powerful poison potion. His enemy, thinking he's gaining the upper hand, absorbs the poisoned HP. Realizing his mistake too late, the opponent starts losing 200 HP every second for an entire minute. Zhang Wei mocks him, offering even more poison as he's trapped by his own ability. The enemy regrets falling for the trick, realizing that Zhang Wei had planned everything from the very beginning. Later, Zhang Wei finds himself in a situation where his health is dangerously low, but he has a plan. He activates his immortality skill, which allows him to survive just long enough for the poison to eliminate. His opponent, desperate to recover, his enemy, realizes his health is dropping faster than he can heal. Zhang Wei then offers to sell him an advanced health potion. The enemy is furious when he realizes he overpaid, but before he can react, the poison takes full effect, paralyzing him. Then, Dylan attacks. Ready to end the fight, player Dylan defeats player Huo Rengshui, but he resurrects in Frost Peak City, because he had a resurrection chance. Furious at his loss, he vows to get his revenge. Zhang Wei insists he has no connection with the girl, but he knows no one will believe him. His poison begins to wear off as soon as she returns. He asks why she came back, thinking she had fled, but she denies it, saying she stayed because her enemies came to kill her. Someone watching from behind comments on how lucky Zhang is to have such a beautiful companion. Meanwhile, the enemies panic because their leader, who they say is the strongest, is dead. One of them, realizing he chose the wrong side, tries to escape, but Zhang stops him, saying they haven't settled the score yet. Zhang wants to know why the Beast faction is in Aurora City. Yancy trembles and reveals that they were after Diva to retrieve a special card. Moreover, Zhang wonders what kind of card is so valuable they would chase her all the way here. Then Diva casually takes out the card, saying she got it after killing someone in Frost Peak City, and to her, it's just a shiny object with no real use. But Zhang immediately recognizes that it's a divine talent card. Moreover, he realizes that each player can only have one talent, which might explain why she couldn't activate it. She seems not to know its true value, so he realizes that she got the card by killing someone, which means the rumors were true. Divine talent cards can be obtained by eliminating their owners. Zhang discovers that divine talents can be transferred to other players, but only by killing the previous owner. Moreover, Yancy begs for his life, insisting that he has shared everything he knows. However, Zhang refuses to let him go since he has seen the card. Besides, he eliminates Yancy, ensuring that the secret dies with him. Next, Diva asks Zhang if he isn't afraid that she'll kill him, to which he replies that she is smart, and that the Blood Sect is now after both of them. Moreover, keeping Zhang alive can help divert their firepower. Diva is curious about the divine talent, hidden in her card, wondering how powerful it could be. Besides, he offers a new deal. If she hands over the Ring of Death along with the card, they can settle things peacefully. Then she wonders why he is so desperate for the ring, suspecting that it belonged to someone important to him. Zhang confirms his promise to return it to her. Then Diva gives up the ring, but insists on keeping the divine talent card. Zhang's trading partner, gives him a warning, advising him to keep the golden card a secret, and at the same time, he is urged to leave quickly. The Blood Sect won't let this go and will soon seek revenge. Moreover, Zhang remains confident. He is not afraid, believing that not even their strongest member will be able to defeat him. Meanwhile, the Beast faction proves to be fierce fighters, not just tough, but also cunning. They ambushed their enemies while the guild leader was away, and Yarrow wonders what could be happening with the guild leader. Suddenly, a warning is shouted that Yarrow is in danger, but before the enemy can attack, Zane intervenes and saves Yarrow. He informs him that their boss has already been sent back to Frost Peak City, and they will soon join him. The guild leader arrives, and his team greets him with concern. Jane reassures them, saying he isn't injured. Although it was difficult to escape the Beast faction, Jane later returns the ring to Yarrow, fulfilling her promise. She always believed he would succeed. With many players reaching level 50, they need to train harder to keep up. Everyone is eager to advance. A teammate boasts that he will soon be strong enough to defeat monsters with a single blow. However, great fortune often brings greater danger. Now that Zane knows the truth about divine talents, both he and Yarrow Han are at risk. If others discover this secret, they will become targets. Determined to get stronger before that happens, Zane finally reaches level 50 and unlocks a new quest to advance his class. His stats show that he is a dragon race beast tamer, gifted with a rare skill. What's yours is mine. However, he has no extra lives, making every battle a risk. After spending so much time dealing with the Blood Sect, he has finally caught up with the top players. Standing in the bustling streets of Dawn City, his team looks to him for guidance. They've reached the highest level for now, so what's the next step? Zane replies that to become even stronger, the team must increase their level cap. The only way to do that is by completing their second class change. Level 50 isn't enough for Zane to get his revenge, and Yarrow and the others also need to improve. Outside the class change hall, players attempting the class change trial are being taken down one after another, because the challenge is too difficult and the 20,000 point requirement seems impossible to achieve. Frustrated players complain about spending their gold on the trial fee, only to be defeated. Moreover, some regret spending money just to get beaten up. In the proving grounds of Dawn City, players gather to watch the challenge. A confident girl stands up, asking if anyone dares to face her. Then Zane steps forward, determined to take the test. And he also remembers that in Apocalypse, raw stats alone don't guarantee victory. Skill and strategy matter just as much. Furthermore, the secret is knowing how to use skills effectively. Above them, a small machine floats, tracking their every move. The second job change mission requires players to be at level 50. The challenge is a solo trial with an entry fee of 100 gold. To pass, they must fight the trial instructor, earning points by dodging attacks or landing hits. The goal is to reach 20,000 points in 10 minutes. Moreover, success unlocks the ability to level up to 70, and grants new class-specific skills. The machine above them will calculate every action, determining if they pass or fail. The trial begins, and Zane makes his move instead of rushing in. He skillfully avoids close-quarters combat, knowing it is a risky strategy against a fighter. With impressive speed, he maintains his distance and unleashes a powerful chain lightning attack, and reminds her to taste some electricity. Afterward, the system registers his actions. Dodging one attack earns him 1,000 points, and landing one successful skill attack gives him another 1,000. His score jumps to 2,000 in an instant. The spectators are shocked because they did not expect him to gain points so quickly. Some who doubted his abilities now see his skill in action. Diana realizes she underestimated her opponent and decides to step up her game. Then she swings her weapon, the Void Warhammer, only to see it vanish into thin air. Confusion spreads, as no one can tell where the Warhammer went. The Void Warhammer strikes, causing a loss of 2,000 points. The test instructor proves to be a tough opponent, making the challenge even harder. The guild members watch with concern, unsure if their leader can pass. However, Yara remains confident, knowing that Zane always finds a way to succeed, no matter how difficult the situation. Determined to win, Zane avoids giving any more chances for attacks. In his past life, he failed this challenge more than 200 times, but those attempts gave him the battle knowledge he needs now. Using his Beast Tamer skill, Shared Vision, he sees through the eyes of his summoned creatures. With their help, he dodges attacks and earns points. Jill becomes suspicious and realizes that something is helping him predict movements. Furthermore, she notices the summoned crows and quickly changes her strategy, preventing him from gaining more points by dodging. Realizing he must end the fight quickly, Zane makes his final move. The system announces his victory, that he has completed the job change quest for the second time. Now as an advanced beast tamer, he is stronger than ever. The clan members cheer for him, impressed with his score of 22,000 points. Meanwhile, in Moonlight City, a powerful enemy prepares to attack. With the best equipment in the game, she sees this as the perfect moment to defeat Zane. Mortimer is not sent alone. He receives support from experienced fighters who have battled Zane before. With new equipment and recent level increases, they are expected to succeed in this mission. They follow Mortimer's lead. They confirm their orders, determined to complete the task. Before leaving, he receives a special scroll, usable only once for emergencies. With everything ready, they begin their journey to the City of Dawn. Muchen is determined to make Zane regret becoming his enemy. Meanwhile, in the City of Dawn, Zane and his team are enjoying a barbecue. Furthermore, Zane agrees it's the best he's ever had in the apocalypse. The conversation shifts to training, as the others prepare for their trials, for their second job advancement. She promises to complete them soon and catch up to Zane. One of them whispers, asking about his new skills from the second job advancement, to which Zane agrees to demonstrate them during the next dungeon raid. Later, Zane reviews his newly unlocked skills, eager to master them. One stands out. Demonic substitution allows him to escape from control effects, leaving behind a substitute that spreads fear among enemies when attacked. With a 30-minute cooldown, this skill will be a valuable tool in battle. Zane's enemies finally catch up to him. Among them are players from the Divine Guild, now working alongside Muchen. Zane wonders how they ended up as allies. Then Muchen steps forward, and Jack questions why Muchen is wasting his final moments, instead of using them wisely. To which Muchen reminds him that he escaped last time, but luck won't save him again. Ignoring the threat, Muchen takes command, instructing his group. 4 of them will handle the others while he deals with Zane personally. A swordsman steps forward confidently, eager to test his strength. Moving at an incredible speed, he strikes first. Despite his swift attacks, Muchen reacts even faster, taking control of the fight. Meanwhile, Xiao finds himself in danger, crying out for help. Someone warns of an ambush up ahead. After that, Zane is caught by Shadowbind, a high-level control skill. A dark shadow appears beneath him, stopping his movements for 10 seconds, leaving him completely defenseless. Furthermore, Zane's enemies surround him, reminding him that he is all alone. With the Shadowbind still in effect, he cannot move, making him an easy target. His opponent is eager to see if he can still fight back. In an instant, demonic substitution activates and Zane vanishes, leaving a decoy in his place. Muchen realizes too late that he has fallen into a trap. Before Muchen can react, chain lightning activates. However, to Zane's surprise, Muchen remains unharmed despite the direct hit. Furthermore, he is wearing the best armor in the entire apocalypse and believes that no ordinary attack can harm him. He prepares to unleash his strongest skill and activates the Celestial Star Purgatory. Zane narrowly avoids an attack with Black's help and counterattacks using the Wings of Chaos, sending sharp wind blades toward Muchen. Is shocked to see that Zane now commands a second-grade Emperor Dragon, proving a huge difference in their strength. Zane then declares that Muchen will always be beneath him, leaving him frustrated. A desperate Muchen realizes too late that Zane has completed his second job advancement. Unwilling to accept defeat, he remembers the single-use scroll that can give him a chance to fight back. He activates a special ability, challenging Zane to show his true strength, confident that Carol's information was correct. He believes he can even take down Zane's second-grade Emperor Dragon. He threatens Zane, declaring that this will be his last day, all while holding Shay. He challenges Yuri to try and rescue her. In response, Yuri attacks, to which he quickly summons his ally, a skeleton, to help. Then, Yuri attacks them again with arrows, shattering their barrier of sharp bones. The opponents try to capture Chloe, but Yuri rescues her just in time. On the other side, Fen confidently claims he will end the battle, but his opponent laughs and attacks first. However, Fen skillfully uses his swords to take down one enemy, leaving 3 still standing. Just when they think they are winning, the enemies reveal their true plan. The real target was Zane. And suddenly, something goes wrong. His team realizes too late that this was all a trap, and Zane is now in grave danger. A loud voice interrupts, asking for calm while trying to enjoy a meal. However, the fight continues. Zane is being pursued, his enemies determined not to let him escape. He then orders Black to stay away from crowded areas, knowing that the powerful attacks of an Emperor, 4th-grade dragon, can cause massive destruction. Realizing that dodging won't help him find a weakness, he decides to counterattack with full confidence. He believes in Black and prepares for battle. Black signals the start of their counterattack. It's time to resolve all past conflicts, once and for all. Muchen is confused, wondering if they are overestimating their abilities or underestimating him. He thinks the breath of the 4th-grade Emperor Dragon will annihilate them all. And even if he has immortality, his magic beast won't survive the dragon's breath. A notification appears, stating that player Zane has suffered damage from a level 4 dragon's Emperor's breath, costing 50 health points. Soul Link, an exclusive skill for a 2nd-level beast tamer. When activated, it transfers the damage received by the magic beast to the beast tamer, for 60 seconds with a 3-hour cooldown. As long as Zane's immortality doesn't run out, Black will be invincible. He orders Black to attack with its right wing since, according to him, a dragon's wing is the weakest point of its body, and once damaged, the dragon will lose its mobility, which is the best way to limit its attacks. The notification shows that the Class 4 dragon was damaged by Black's claw attack, and Zane finds it strange that the Class 4 dragon Emperor lost 500 hit points from its breath attack, but lost 1,500 hit points from Black's claw attack. This means that the Emperor dragon's damage is lower than normal, and it's taking more damage, which feels like an illusion, because only illusions deal so little damage while receiving more from attacks, which made him think it's not a real Emperor, Class 4 dragon, but an illusion created through a contract summoning. Contract summoning uses a contract with a high-level monster to summon its illusion into battle, and the stronger the summoned monster, the higher the price. And lesser costs result in physical damage, while greater costs can result in the consumption of one's spirit. Morton is confused about what's happening to him, and in that case, the appearance of the Divine Guide's lackeys and the scroll makes sense to him, and he thinks Carol is using the Fool to deal with him. Zane questions Morton, as it seems he doesn't know the consequences of using the scroll, but Morton refused to believe it, even though he knew Zane wouldn't lie to him. Morton had become much stronger by then. He didn't want it to end like this. Zane tells him to look at his fragile body, which is the price for using the contract summoning, making him realize he was a pawn from the very beginning. Morton threatens that if he is to die, he will drag everyone down with him, as he has sacrificed all his power to the great Dragon Emperor, and the madman is prepared to merge with the Dragon Emperor's illusion, deciding to turn the entire city into an inferno. Everyone begins to panic, screaming for each other to run, as a madman is killing everyone. Jansel is shocked and tells Morton that even on the brink of death, he still doesn't repent. He blames himself for not realizing Morton's true nature sooner. Morton asks what if Jansel were a regressor, and if he would kill him given another chance. But this time, Morton is the one who will kill him. Black grabs Zane, thinking that Morton has gone completely insane and lost all his senses. As long as Zane can destroy the scroll, he can sever the connection between the main body and the illusion, which will make the illusion disappear. He wants Black to cover him and attack Morton, but instead, Black is injured while saving Zane, and Aru asks Zane if he's okay, and apologizes for being late. Zane points out to her that Black suffered serious injuries saving him, and he is looking for a way to heal it. Moreover, the person who orchestrated all of this will definitely pay. Outside in Dawn City, within the quiet forest, Zane runs swiftly while Yara follows him closely. She wonders what he's doing so early in the forest as Zane continues running toward his goal, thinking about Black being injured and the resurrection potion, which is extremely rare in the apocalypse, that can heal any wound, no matter how severe. He murmurs to himself that Black is already in a weakened state, which means he has suffered critical damage and is on the brink of death. Normal healing potions are practically useless, and if he wants to save Black, he needs to get this potion. Zane thinks about how he can't even summon Black in his weakened state. He stops abruptly, realizing that the resurrection potion can only be obtained by completing the potion crafting quest with the apothecary, Lyphia. He shouts out that they've finally met again. Lyphia is crouching down, fiddling with a plant between her fingers. Then he remembers the last time he collected everything she needed and asked for the resurrection potion, right before passing out on her. He recalls how Lyphia made the potion and gave it to him. Lyphia turns around, sensing his presence, and asks if he's looking for her. He urgently asks Lyphia to give him the quest to create the resurrection potion. Lyphia, confused, asks how he knows she's researching the resurrection potion. He quickly replies that it's not important, and asks for her journal so he can save Black. Lyphia shows him the journal and asks if this is what he's looking for. She starts to explain, but he interrupts her, completing her sentence, saying he knows the journal contains hints on where to find the 3 rare materials and that she can create the resurrection potion if he brings them to her. He takes her journal and says he already knows the dialogue. Lyphia asks how he knew what she was going to say, but Zane simply turns and thanks her as a notification appears, showing that his quest has begun, and the instructions tell him what to do. He thinks about how the first part of the quest is to obtain the essence of life from the demon ceiling tower. It seems he'll have to make another trip there. Lifia warns him that these 3 items are difficult to obtain, and that if he goes alone, it could take at least half a month for him to return. Zane, with a determined expression, tells her he will return with the items soon. Behind one of the trees, Yara watches the scene unfold. She wonders if Zane is doing all of this to save Black, and questions how he knows about this method. Suddenly, with a grim expression, she thinks about how Zane is always moving forward and how she wants to help him too. With determination, she promises herself that she will find the other 2 items and begins to follow him. The demon ceiling tower opens as Zane pushes through the crowd, shoving people aside. Someone calls out to him, but all he can think about is his promise to Black. He vows that he will definitely make the resurrection potion and heal him. He slams his hand against the door and orders it to be opened, saying that he is in a hurry. The door bursts open with a bang as the demon warrior shouts. Demanding to know what fool dares to disturb him during his sleep, Zane knocks him down, sending the warrior crashing to the floor in his haste. He demands to know where the transfer portal to the next level is. The now furious demon warrior gets up and charges towards Zane. Suddenly recognizing him, Zane thinks this is the perfect opportunity to use his new skill. When the warrior tries to attack him, his weapon passes right through Zane. The warrior roars in fury, realizing that Zane is using a clone. The warrior screams that Zane has no respect for him, but then Zane activates Soul Search, completely mesmerizing the warrior. When the search ends, he extracts all the information about the person behind. The warrior Zane wonders why it has memories of its past life. Could it be because they were once real people? The demon warrior collapses as Zane moves forward. He soon finds 2 gates, and thinks about how, normally each level only has 1 blue transfer gate to advance to the next stage. But here, there are 2 gates of different colors. He remembers that this scene appeared in Shin's memory a short while ago. Looking ahead, he decides he would like to see what is behind the red gate. The transfer begins as he enters, arriving at level 30 on the other side. A mysterious man wearing glasses smiles as he watches Zane on the screen pressing a button. He begins to transform his character. With a sinister smile, he declares that Zane is finally here, and it is time to play a game. Zane has reached level 30 of the demon ceiling tower. This is shocking to him as he never thought the red door would transport him directly to level 30, which saved him a lot of time, and now all he needed was to obtain the essence of life, which is above the church. Suddenly, a level 66 winged fallen angel appeared and threatened Zane, saying that since he challenged the 30th level, she will show him what absolute power truly is. Zane is quite surprised to see her use such a powerful attack right from the start. Aaron loses consciousness and tries to figure out where he is, because according to him, he was resting on level 9, so where did he come from? He questions Zane about what is happening there, and tries to find out if Zane is looking for some kind of trouble, since he is challenging that place right after his second advancement and class change. He wants to know why the boss is a 6-winged fallen angel, as he feels he isn't strong enough and tries to figure out what he should do. And as for why there are so many human remains there. Oh. To Zane, the 6-winged fallen angel seems utterly ruthless. A notification pops up, informing him of unknown human remains, the remains of humans who were killed by the 6-winged fallen angel. Somehow, Zane finds a solution. After looking at the skulls and bones, he tells them it is time for their revenge. A divine talent, Summoner of the Dead, activates. Zane commands his warriors to rise and surround her. The fallen angel tries to shake off the zombie corpses that Zane throws at her. While the undead keep trying to bring her down, she looks around and discovers that Zane is running towards the tower. She finally realizes and voices her thoughts, recognizing that his plan was to use the undead to block her and steal the essence of life. With a swift movement, she raises her hand, summoning a spiraling storm of electricity. The sky above darkens as a low rumble echoes across the battlefield. The crackling energy spirals around her, gathering into a massive wave of power with a single command. She casts her area of effect spell, Lightning Domain. The magical storm erupts, blanketing the entire area. Its chaotic energy lasts for 10 minutes, and every 3 seconds, a violent surge of lightning descends, dealing 500 magic damage to all nearby enemies with a deafening thunderclap. In an instant, the entire horde of undead is turned to ash, their bodies vaporized by the sheer force of the spell. The fallen angel advances, the corners of her lips curling into a smirk with a slow, deliberate movement. She crushes a skull under her heel, letting the dust scatter to the wind as a flash heads towards Zane. As he panics, the fallen angel smirks, declaring that his games are over. Suddenly, a green light flashes out of nowhere, slicing right through the fallen angel's stomach. She turns and sees Baron rushing toward her, panicking as she thinks it is impossible, and wonders why there is another player on this level. On the other side, the man in glasses narrows his eyes, His fingers tighten on the edge of the desk as he watches the chaotic battle unfold on the screen, his irritation growing. Alarms begin to blare, warning that the body has been damaged and the connection is about to be lost. The man in glasses thinks about how the technology to control NPCs through data transfer is still unstable. He finally gives up, saying that they just got lucky today. He tells Zane he will be seeing him very soon, as the fallen angel collapses and the connection is lost. His voice is low, filled with frustration as he leans back in his chair. His fingers tap on the console. He watches as the connection weakens, the fallen angel's body flickering before it collapses to the ground. The system fails, severing the connection. Baron stands there, gripping his weapon tightly, his expression unreadable. His eyes are fixed on the spot where the fallen angel was. Zane acquires the potion and asks what Bowen is doing there, and how is it possible, since this is a solo dungeon in the Tower of Eternity. The man with glasses looks at the scene through his screen, while ordering the spirit of the apocalypse to replay the battle footage. She obeys his orders. He carefully examines the details of the fight, and suddenly, he asks her to zoom in on the bottom right corner. Upon zooming in, he finds another person wearing a mask, helping Bowen. He lets out a sigh and declares that there was another troublemaker on the scene. At the main gate of the Demon Ceiling Tower, the remaining time before the closure of the Demon Ceiling Tower is 3 hours, 5 minutes, and 57 seconds. King Long is worried, thinking about the guild leader planning to leave well before the gate closes. The remaining time is 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 45 seconds. Bowen thanked Zane for taking care of little Rue for the past few days, but he denied it, saying there was no need to thank him. He just did what he thought he should do, and Yara will be happy to see him. Yara is excited and happy to see her young master back. King Long states that the young lady has been missing since yesterday, and she isn't responding either to any of his messages. But Bowen knows that she has always been cautious when doing things, so there must be a special reason. Zane wants them to think carefully about whether she was acting strangely before she disappeared. King Long tells them that she was in the square last night, standing in the middle of the square, facing the statue as if she were praying for something, and since her eyes were closed, he didn't bother her. Zane thinks that Yara must have been on a prayer mission, since he once told him that praying is one of the casual missions in Apocalypse, where players have to go to the main square at 9 p.m. and pray for 3 consecutive hours. By doing so, there is a chance to receive a reward from the god of dreams, a dreamstone. But the dreamstone doesn't have much use. It's just a decoration. But if someone waters it with water from the dream spring, which is found in the dream spirit manor, they can obtain a dream flower. And based on all this, Zane figures out that Yara must have gone to the dream spirit manor. Bowen wants them to hurry and go there, to the dream spirit manor in Frost Peak City. King Long tries to send a message to Yara, but he can't. He panics about what is happening. The dream spirit manor is the domain of the god of dreams, Lament. He establishes protective formations to resist the invasion of enemies during the apocalypse, and many dangerous monsters roam freely inside the manor. The moment players enter the protective formation, they lose the ability to send messages to other players, which is why Yara can't send or receive messages there. Jake orders them not to separate upon entering, because if they do, they'll be in trouble since they can't communicate. Meanwhile, Dante tells Yara that they're counting on her when they fight the Dream Spirit later, since she's the highest level and best equipped member of the group, which isn't a problem for her. But all she wants is that if the water from the Dream Spring drops, he has to keep his promise and give it to her. Lucy tells her not to worry, as they only want the equipment that drops, since they have no use for the water from the Dream Spring. Yara and Raoul, along with Dante and Lucy, arrived at the Dream Spirit's mansion. 2 Dream Spirits emerged from behind the dark bushes to attack them. Dante alerted them, and as everyone got into position, the spirits rushed toward them. Dante activated Adamantine Fury, and a massive red rage erupted, capturing both spirits at once. He shouted that he had stopped the spirits with his skill, and ordered Yara to do her part. Yara raised her wand, gripping it tightly as the air around her began to shift. Cold energy gathered at her fingertips, sending chills across the ground. Then the storm arrived. A fierce blizzard erupted, sending razor-sharp shards of ice flying toward the spirits. The spirits let out pained and distorted screams as the ice struck their bodies. Dante watched the scene and let out a wow, saying that a level 50 mage was truly powerful and that it felt like he had a god-tier teammate. Suddenly, a red hue surrounded the motionless spirits, catching Lucy's attention just when they thought it was over. She walked toward them and informed her teammates that a flower was growing from the corpse of the dream spirit. She raised her hand to touch the beautiful flower, but Yara quickly told her not to. The moment Lucy's fingers touched the flower, its petals contracted violently. In an instant, the single flower multiplied, spreading like wildfire across the battlefield. All three of them fell back, taking in the new development. The three turned their heads toward a voice. A figure now stood in the crimson field. Its form was strange yet graceful. The bloody dream spirit had awakened. A voice called out to them, saying that pitiful humans like them shouldn't have a home to return to. She looked at them and said that since they had no home, why not stay here with her? She caught the three of them in her red vines. The dream spirit undergoes a dream transformation and transforms into Yara. Lucy stares at the scene, asking in horror why the dream spirit looks like their mage. Dante calms her down, explaining that this is the dream spirit's strongest ability, Crimson Field, where it transforms into the highest level player on the opposing side to copy their equipment and skills. The three of them sat around the Crimson Field, while Lydia begged for Rael to save her. Rael looks around and notices something. She then picks up a stone that glows purple. She begins to speak, mostly to herself, that these flowers live in the shadows. As she throws the stone at one of the flowers, the flower withers instantly upon contact. She shouts upon realizing that these flowers are afraid of light and that they can use light to deal with them. Hearing this, Lydia uses her unique skill and activates the sun's blessing as a brilliant yellow energy envelops them, healing their wounds. Just as they were getting up, arrows suddenly started flying towards them out of nowhere. Rael grabs Lydia and jumps to the opposite side as the arrows pierce the dream spirit, which quickly reverts to its original state. Many people rush towards the area and begin to claim ownership of the ruby dream spirit. Rael looks at them and thinks that the light must have attracted all the nearby players, and they must all be after the reward for the blood-red dream spirit. Lydia, full of anger, raises her voice, saying that they were the ones who found it, so it should be theirs. Rael interrupts and whispers for her to calm down. She instructs that they will wait here to observe the situation and let the others wear down the blood-red dream spirit first. Suddenly, a group of people arrives, introducing themselves as the Blood Sect. They surround the blood-red dream spirit and announce that everyone must leave because this dream spirit belongs to the Blood Sect. They then begin to attack any other players who try to approach the spirit. Duncan explains that they are from the Blood Sect, the most notorious sect in Frostpike City. He told them he had seen them bullying common players once before and that they abused their power to rob and kill others without hesitation. Rael quickly glances over and realizes they are the same people from the auction. It would be problematic if they recognized her. She pulls her hood down to cover more of her face, while telling her teammates to get moving before they get caught. As they try to leave discreetly, Wu Han, their leader, calls out and throws his axe to stop them. The hood falls from her face when the leader says aloud that he was right. She is the one who was beside Zhang Hui at the auction, and he demands to know where he is now. Rael averts her gaze, muttering that she doesn't know what he's talking about. Soon, the entire sect surrounds her. The leader accuses her of lying, saying he didn't come to the city for revenge, but she came all this way to deliver it to him. Duncan steps in front of her protectively, saying, there must be some misunderstanding, because she is traveling with them. If they want the red dream spirit, then they won't bother them anymore. Without even listening, Wuhan kicks Duncan in the stomach, throwing him mercilessly to the ground, saying he wouldn't leave without his revenge. Lydia holds Duncan and replies that they only came here to do a dungeon exploration, and now the Blood Sect is going too far. The king just laughs at her as he stands up and says that if she wants to leave so badly, she can go to hell, and he rushes towards them to attack. Yara quickly uses the divine talent of the undead summoners as two spirits appear and block his attack. The remaining players are terrified and start running towards the exit, saying that the Blood Sect is going too far when the lady didn't even provoke them. And Yara fights him as he taunts her, saying that her partner is so heartless, leaving his love here alone in mortal danger. She attacks him using a fireball, but he dodges and quickly attacks Yara. She tries to run as he shouts that he gave her an easy way out, but she rejected it. And now she shouldn't blame him for being cruel. People start running out of the Dream Spirit Mansion. Zhang stops someone from the crowd and asks what happened inside, as he is told that the Blood Sect killed some players just to steal a blood-red spirit, and that they also captured a girl. Zhang stops and wonders if it's Yara. Yara struggles to breathe as the king strangles her. He says aloud that he will give her one more chance, and orders her to call for Zhang. A few other people from the Blood Sect watch her while talking amongst themselves, saying it's a shame for such a young girl to sacrifice herself for her boyfriend like this. Another replies that Zhang is probably a coward and must be trembling with fear right now. He must be too scared to come out, after seeing how many of them there are. At that moment, a blow comes out of nowhere, taking their lives in a second. The king turns towards the commotion, only to see a fist coming towards his face. Jang punches him with all his might while screaming, "How dare anyone touch her," and sends the king flying away from Yara. He quickly holds Yara in his arms as she apologizes for worrying him. Jung tells her it's alright, and that he will take care of the bastards from the blood sect. The king gets up and challenges Jang, saying he must be confused because this is the blood sect's territory. He orders his men to restrain them, because he is going to teach them a lesson. The entire blood sect comes to surround them while Jang protects Yara. Then people start falling with loud thuds as Baron comes running towards them, shouting that he will kill all the bastards for touching his little sister. Baron and King Kong take a protective stance in front of them. Jang assures him that Yara is fine but badly injured. He asks them to take care of her because the blood sect is full of treacherous people. King Kong tells him he will take care of her, and Yara takes out a ring and holds it in front of Jang, telling him to take it because it might help him. Jang takes the ring of death with a smile. He starts attacking the blood sect members as the ring of death absorbs the power of the fallen players. He thinks how the blood sect is just a bunch of rabble. He looks at the ring and how it shines and thinks that its growth potential is astonishing. Let alone the king, he can win even if a second advancement berserker comes. The surprise king quickly orders his men to shoot at Zhang Wei after all the arrows fall. Zhang Wei stands up and thanks them for giving him power as it helps to trigger his abilities. He activates a passive trigger that allows him to summon a demonic dragon from hell. He smiles maliciously as he mutters, for them to feel the fury of the hellish demon dragon. A massive dragon appears out of nowhere and lets out a roar. It exhales hellfire that burns the people of the blood sect. Wuhan looks on, thinking there's no way Zhang Wei could have gotten so much stronger in just a few days because he only defeated him by luck last time. He grips his axe and rushes towards him, saying he will get revenge for everyone, but as he charges forward, a sword pointed at him stops him. He asks Zhang Wei what he is doing and says that the sect of blood is the #1 guild in Ice Peak City. If he dares to harm him, the guild will not let him go. Zhang Wei tells him that he has already killed him once and can do it a second time too. He informs him that his sect is full of evildoers, and that he will kill everyone he finds, and if his sect comes after him, he will wipe out the entire sect. With that, he slices his head clean off his body, and says that he should be a better man in his next life. Someone asks what they should do with the spirit, the blood-red spirit, and says they can get a generous reward if they kill her. Zhang Wei tells them not to kill her. He tells Yaru to give the dream stone to the spirit. Suddenly the glow changes around the spirit. As she asks them to follow her, they follow her to the Fountain of Dreams, where she calls to the sleeping spirits, and tells them it is time to awaken the water bubbles, as another spirit emerges, introducing herself as the Goddess of Dreams, and welcoming the Chosen One with a smile. The Goddess of Dreams has been waiting there for so long enough that she can no longer remember the time, and she also has a special gift for the first player to find her, which is Yaru, and she has won a dream flower. The dream flower is really useful for them as it will save Black. Zhang Wei thanks Yaru as this was only possible because of her King Long, suggests that the young master patrol the perimeter as there might be some people from the blood sect around meanwhile. Baron pretends not to see what is happening there. Zhang Wei is trying to figure out how to create the resurrection potion. He struggles trying the method that Lafia uses. Then a notification appears, saying that player Zhang Wei has completed the quest to create the resurrection potion, which has a reward of 1 resurrection potion. Zhang Wei wants Black to worry no more, since he suffered so much before, but after this drink, he will recover soon. He gives the drink to Black, and in a few seconds our lively Black is suddenly back. A notification says that the secret team quest of the Dream Spirit mode was activated. Zane isn't sure what's happening, but he orders them to be careful. The God of Dreams informed them that 1,000 years ago, the Ghost Clan attacked the world of the apocalypse, but at that time, the Dream Spirit Manor was the only land that was not invaded, and to fight against the Ghost Clan, 10 gods fought to the death and managed to seal the king of the Ghost Clan, and everything they did only delayed their inevitable end, and after the battle ended, the other 9 gods disappeared. But the Goddess of Dreams entered a deep sleep at the time, and everything they see is an illusion created before she fell asleep, and she is waiting for the Chosen One's appearance. She commands them to find and wake her up. A notification appears about the lost God of Dreams, stating that, after sealing the Ghost King, the whereabouts of the 10 gods of the apocalypse remain unknown, and they are instructed to follow the directions to find the lost God of Dreams. Zane tells them that they must have been transported to the mission area. Meanwhile, the monsters attack them. Kingston wants Zane to be careful with the monsters as Arya takes on the responsibility of stopping them, but Zane wants to take them all on himself. He used crowd control on them, but it didn't work there, and it seems the only way to fight them is to face them head on. The fight continued. Kingston is trying to figure out where these monsters came from since he had ensured the surroundings were safe, where they were meant to pass. But, according to Zane, the appearance of the monsters shows that they are Ghost Clan warriors from the God of Dreams illusion. Arya thinks that since the Ghost Clan is being suppressed, then what is the purpose of them coming here? Some butterflies seem to have appeared out of nowhere. Zane thinks that perhaps they are not in the dream spirit manner, but have been transported into the God of Dreams' dream. Arya looks shocked to hear this, but Zane explains to her that dreams don't need to follow the basic rules of this game. So according to this, the suppressed Ghost Clan warriors can appear out of nowhere, and even the butterflies can self-replicate. He starts having flashbacks, realizing that the only one who can transfer multiple players at once is the God of Dreams. That's why she wants them to find and wake her. And Arya becomes tense, because they can only leave this space after waking the God of Dreams. Zane activates his treasure hunter skill, and claims they will soon have the answer. He sees something strange at the bottom of the lake, and calls everyone to take a look. They all splash into the water. A notification shows that the skill, Water Evasion Mage's exclusive skill when activated, allows allies to bypass the water, enabling free movement underwater for a duration of 3 minutes. Zane notices the swarm of butterflies is flying towards the fortified palace gate, which appears to be an entrance to another area. But meanwhile, Yara notices something strange over there. Jane screams Yara's name, as she is captured by the tentacles of the octopus-like sea monster. He swims forward, and with a single swing of his sword, cuts the monster's tentacles that were holding Yara, telling her to stay behind him. They are warned that the water evasion is about to end in 30 seconds. Zane notices how the monster has incredible regeneration abilities as it regrows its severed limbs. Baron shouts that it's over, mentioning how the water evasion is running out, and then states in a panic that they can't keep fighting the monster because they need to get out right now, considering the situation at hand. Zane says he will hold the monster here, instructing the others to go and open the door in the meantime. As the countdown reaches 20 seconds, swimming towards the door, Baron asks King Long to come with him, to open the stone door. As the two of them put all their strength into pulling each side of the door to open it, the countdown reaches 10 seconds. Zane, having a hard time dealing with the monster alone, tells the two to hurry up and open the door, notifying them that there's no time left. The countdown is now at 5 seconds when Baron asks King Long to push a little harder, pointing out how it's almost open after struggling for the remaining time to open the door. The countdown ends along with the water evasion behind the door. They come face to face with the noise barrier. Zane is busy cutting the monster's limbs. He finally looks up along with Yara as the door opens, reaching their hands out to each other. Yara asks him to take her hand. He grabs it, pulling her towards him to save her from the monster's attack. They swim to the door. Baron and King Long have already crossed the noise barrier, however. As Yara and Zane are crossing it, the monster suddenly grabs Zane's leg with its limb. Yara and King Long, each holding one of his arms, pull him with all their might to the other side of the debris barrier, where they are, while Baron raises his swords, which he holds with both hands, and strikes down hard on the monster's limb, cutting Zane free. Zane, sensing the monster's rapid regeneration ability, tells his friends to close the door quickly. He sees the monster's severed limb trying to crawl back to it as the door slams shut. With their hearts pounding, they are finally on the other side, with glowing butterflies flying all around. Zane and Yara, exhausted from the fight with the monster, collapse to the ground, while King Long leans with one hand against the wall and the other on his knee, panting heavily. And Aru mentions what a close call it was, remembering how she was nearly taken by that giant monster. He assures her that they are safe now, since that octopus-like monster can't enter this place. After his breathing stabilizes a little, he tells his friends to come along, as they need to hurry and investigate. As they press forward, they arrive at a place where the walls on both sides have strange writings. Looking at these writings, King Long expresses his thoughts. He says the characters look strange and are giving him the creeps. Zane is informed that these are the writings of the Ghost Clan. He then informs his friends as well, explaining that it's just as the God of Dreams had mentioned. This place was once invaded by the Ghost Clan. Yara exclaims in surprise. She comments that a fierce battle must have taken place here. Agreeing with her statement, Zane says that what they are seeing is just a small part of it. Observing the area further, Zane wonders if the clan's invasion could be linked to the imminent catastrophe that is about to unfold in the apocalypse. Soon, a catastrophe will descend upon the apocalypse, and no one will be able to escape the calamity. Noticing something, Yara points in a direction with a confused expression, telling them to look over there. As they look in the direction she's pointing, they see a staircase leading up to something, bound by chains on both sides. Zane, uncertain, asks if the one trapped by the chains on the high platform is the God of Dreams. He continues, saying it seems the God of Dreams' slumber is not accidental, and there is a larger conspiracy behind it. Before Zane can finish his sentence, The chains binding the god of dreams are pulled taut, making a sharp sound. With that, a woman sitting on a throne calls them insects. She asks if they know whose territory they've just invaded. The chains attached to her clothes clink as she rises from her throne. The guardian of the ghost clan now speaks to the god of dreams. She mentions how she didn't expect her to get this far. She then walks toward the god of dreams, adding that she also didn't expect that. After all this time, the god of dreams would still refuse to accept her fate. The guardian of the ghost clan suddenly snatches one of the glowing butterflies that were flying around and asks the god of dreams if she brought Zane and his friends here. She then asks sarcastically, with a smirk, if she knows she has just condemned these youths, adding that she truly wants her to see for herself how they die for her. An explosion erupts, throwing the guardian of the ghost clan away. She is sent sprawling on the ground near Zane and his friends. Yara shouts at the guardian of the ghost clan in confusion. She asks who she is and demands that she release the god of dreams. The guardian of the ghost clan scoffs at Yara's demand. She repeats it mockingly, wanting to see if Yara has the ability to make her release the god of dreams. After threatening them, she says not to even think about leaving since they've entered her domain. She launches her chains, wrapping them around a large boulder above their heads. Pulling it down, the guardian of the ghost clan hurls it towards Zane and the others. Zane states that there are many bodies of ghost clan warriors here and tells Aru to activate the undead summoner talent. After they activate the undead summoner talent, Lyra encounters the god of dreams and holds his hands. The god of dreams asks for Lyra's name for confirmation, saying that she is very lucky, for a power far greater than she can imagine resides within her. The god of dreams advises. He tells her to always remember to hold firm to her beliefs, an exchange that surprises the guardian of the ghost clan. It makes her eyes pop out of their sockets as Lyra, with the help of the god of dreams, summons the dead warriors of the ghost clan back to life, making them block the large boulder that the guardian of the ghost clan had launched at them. The guardian of the ghost clan recomposes herself and swings her chains. This causes many of those stones to shatter and scatter as she screams. She furiously declares that the same trick won't work, since not even the one who came before her could defeat her. Watching the guardian of the ghost clan boast so confidently infuriates Baron. He also charges forward, asking the guardian of the ghost clan where all her confidence comes from. Ready to strike with his blade, Baron sarcastically asks the guardian of the ghost clan about adding him into the equation as well. Equally enraged, Kingston also intervenes, activating his golden elegy and declaring that he will help too. The angered guardian of the ghost clan warns them that they are courting death as she unleashes her soul-binding chains. The chains shoot towards the two men, attacking her, grabbing both of their arms. This causes Baron to wonder in confusion what this thing is. Looking at them menacingly while laughing ominously, she tells them to become her puppets. Since anyone caught by her soul-binding chains must submit to her, the pupils of Baron and Kingston turn red. They glow brightly from the soul-binding magic, making the two men wonder how this could be possible. However, before Baron could even complete the question in his mind, his expression turned sinister, for he had now become a puppet of the guardian of the ghost clan. She then has them attack Zane and Lyra, laughing at them while mentioning how much she loves to see teammates turn on each other, shouting as she announces the start of the show. Baron leaps into the air, swinging his blade towards Lyra, who is confused and can't believe her eyes. She tries to remind him that it's her, Lyra, and asks what is wrong with him. Before Baron's blade could reach Lyra, Zane quickly intervened and parried the attack. He blocked the strike with his own sword, shouting at Baron to wake up. Bowen continues to swing his blade to kill Aiden. Aiden refuses to give up and will not let him succeed. Instead, he diligently competes against him, defending himself with his sword. Aiden makes sure he is focused only on defending himself, lest he hurt his friend who is currently under the Guardian's magic. The Guardian of the Ghost Clan, while controlling Bowen, mentions that he has become her puppet and is obeying only her commands. Aiden, who is still defending himself and protecting Yara, is thrown far away. When his magic is reflected by Bowen's magic as he tells Aiden to get lost, he barely manages to keep his balance. Aiden steadies himself from the sudden impact, but to his surprise, when he regains his balance and looks back, as he gets up, he sees that Bowen is already very close to Yara. With pain and worry in his voice, Aiden begs Bowen to stop, trying to make him realize that Yara is his sister. Bowen, however, continues to advance with red eyes and a furious face as he points his blade at Yara. Looking at her brother approaching with hatred in his eyes, she calls out to him while trembling in fear. The Guardian of the Ghost Clan then orders King Long, who is standing behind Yara, not to go easy on her, demanding that he shoot her in the heart. Controlled by her orders, King Long takes 3 arrows together and fires them. Fortunately, Aiden notices and shouts for Yara to watch out behind her, but it is too late. as the arrows are already very close to Yara. Just as she turns around after Aiden's warning, to her surprise, one of the summoned undead warriors of the Ghost Clan steps between Yara and the arrows, taking them in her place and protecting her. Aiden realizes with surprise that Yara's necromancy is now much stronger, since the summoned undead can actually act independently to protect their summoner. The guardian of the Ghost Clan intensifies her magic, transforming it into the Celestial Lock, and ordering Bowen and King Long to take down Zane and Yara as Bowen rushes toward them. Swinging his blade, the guardian of the Ghost Clan orders Zane and Yara to give up, stating that their fate is already sealed. However, Zane and Yara take a back-to-back stance, with their weapons at the ready to protect themselves from the imminent attack. He then realizes that if they keep fighting like this, they will end up getting hurt. He thinks they cannot go all out against Bowen and King Long, therefore they need to find a way out of this fight. To escape, Zane quickly summons Black and mounts his back. The guardian of the Ghost Clan, after looking at Black, says in a mocking tone that she thought Zane had some trick up his sleeve when he invaded, but she never expected him to be so weak. Commenting that he is utterly powerless against her abilities, she calls them pathetic humans, and uses her magic, Fate's Chain Arrow, to launch her sharp-tipped chain toward him, declaring that she will make him watch as his companions abandon him one by one. Black bolts away. He fires at her to reflect the chain she threw at them, but in doing so, Black is thrown backward, falling to the ground some distance away. Zane and Daria also tumble off Black, and he quickly asks her if she is okay. She confirms she is fine, saying it's just a scratch. The Ghost Clan guardian then walks up to Zane. Straddling his legs as he kneels, she lifts his chin and says that his friends and the magical beast will become slaves of the Ghost King, and he will not escape either. Zane, however, instead of fearing her, smiles confidently and asks if that is really so. She looks at him, confused, wondering about the sudden change in his demeanor, until she hears Black's roar from behind her. Black snatches her up in his jaws, and Zane gets to his feet, commenting with a smile that it worked. He figures that Bruce and King Long were hit by her chains, which is why they are under her control. Therefore, he cannot let her chains touch Black. He yells for Black to strengthen his left wing, as a chain is about to hit it, so Black does as he is told. Daria turns to look at King Long and Baron Wang, and realizes they have not yet returned to their senses. She asks Zane if they have not already defeated the Ghost Clan guardian, so why have King Long and her brother not recovered yet? She considers the possibilities. Perhaps the spell's duration has not run out, or perhaps the Ghost Clan guardian is still alive. Transformed into a red spider lily, the Ghost Clan guardian gives a wry smile. She says she did not expect to be fooled by their tricks, but they are underestimating her if they think that is enough to defeat her. Watching in amazement, Zane considers how she used the red spider lily to switch places with her real body using soul-swapping magic. He realizes this is a unique ability of the dream spirit, and he suddenly realizes that she is a dream spirit. The Ghost Clan guardian then says she admits he is stronger than she initially thought. However, she will not be careless again and tells him he will not get another chance. Ignoring her claim, Daria and Zane take a defensive stance. He then asks the Ghost Clan guardian if she used to be a dream spirit, adding that this is why she fears the light, just like other dream spirits, and hides in this dark underwater palace. When he demands she speak and tell him why she betrayed the dream god, she screams at him to shut up, saying she never wants to hear that name or identity again. She claims she is the only one who can lead her people to eternal victory, but he is always on the side of the dream god. She becomes furious with him for discovering this, and screams at him to die as she raises her chains to attack once more. Zane asks the apocalypse spirit what time it is. The spirit replies that it is 6:45 in the morning. Daria looks worried. Realizing what was happening in his mind, Zhang Ye questions the black-haired girl. He asks if she is also a dream spirit, which is why she fears the light like the others, and hides in the darkness of the underwater palace. So based on this, Zhang Ye decides to attack her with light, but an attack of that level had no effect on her. Yet Zhang Ye didn't stop there, relentlessly continuing his assault. His persistence pays off, as the attack, which is essentially sunlight, shatters her sweet dream, bringing it to an abrupt end. But in that moment, Zhang Ye is struck by a severe headache, and the black-haired girl fails to recognize them. She questions their identity, leaving Yuru confused, as this was not the same person who had controlled her brother. And King Long Zhang Ye, looking at her in that moment, realized she was no different from the dream spirit they had encountered before, which means she is under the control of the Ghost Clan's energy. But at her core, she is a dream spirit, inherently weak against the light. This means that when exposed to bright light, she loses all her spiritual powers. Suddenly, the dream god awakened, and went to her children, filled with pity for them because she had lost, due to the manipulation of the Ghost Clan's king, and she thanked them for saving her, explaining that 100 years ago, after the Ghost Clan's king was sealed, all the remaining evil spirits manipulated her people, and she had fallen into a deep sleep due to the exhaustion of her spiritual powers, and in that sleep, she had a dream where she saw the forces of the clan, of the ghosts rising to power and seizing control once more. Although she couldn't tell if it was just a dream, or a divine message, but she could not stand idly by and watch the world fall into chaos once again. To awaken, she had to leave an illusion in the Dream Spirit Mansion to guide the challengers, and only when one finally appeared did the Dream Spirit Mansion return to its original state. A notification pops up, congratulating Zhang Ye's team for completing the Lost Dream God mission, and obtaining the Dream God's Blessing artifact and a legendary Dream God equipment set. The Dream God gives them the equipment as a reward for completing the mission. Zhang Ye, Ba Wang, and Xiang Long begin to discuss the loot, which includes shares for Xuanfeng and Chao Yue, and seems to be more than enough for everyone. Zhang Ye tells them both to pick what they want. King Long wants the Dream God's bracelet, and Ba Wang seems drawn to the Dream God's armor. The Dream God then calls Yuru and hands her something. A notification reveals the item is the Dream God's Blessing artifact, which has a level 50 requirement and is a staff-type weapon. It increases the wielder's attributes by 20%, and an additional attached skill ensures that all team members receive a 20% attribute boost. Yuru looks confused and asks the Dream God if this is for her. The Dream God tells her that Yuru's talent card was originally formed from the Dream God's own powers, which is the purest form of divine power, and she feels that Yuru is essentially another version of herself, which is why she has decided to bestow this gift upon her. Zhang Wei also thinks that Yara's necromancer talent is similar to the summoning abilities of the Dream God, which is why the divine level talent cards actually gather the power of various deities in the apocalypse. The Dream God sent Yara back because she had already spent enough time with him. He also has a request for her and for the apocalypse, which is to quickly find the 9 deities remaining, and if the calamity truly descends, he wants Yara to believe that whatever the Dream Goddess herself can do for the apocalypse, she can do it too. In the Dream Spirit Mansion, King Long thinks the place looks completely different than before. According to Johnny, and maybe this is how the Dream Spirit Mansion originally looked, because it was like that before, due to the influence of the Ghost Clan suddenly. Lisha starts to cough. Yara wants to know what happened to her. The group from the Blood Sect arrives, and one of the members points to Zhang Wei's group saying they are responsible for the death of Master Yan Kui, and the master of the Blood Sect group orders them to capture all of Zhang Wei's party. He felt that the Blood Sect group had come to take revenge for Yan Kui, and Yara yells at them mentioning that they are the bad guys there, and Yara takes out the blessing of the Dream God. The members of the Blood Sect team try to figure out if it's really the Dream God's artifact in Yara's hands, as if they had found the Dream God, but they won't believe it, because they see Yara as just a little girl. Since the Blood Sect has been searching for the Dream God for years, and still hasn't found anything, so they think she must be holding a fake artifact to trick them. Their master orders them to attack. When the attack begins, all the members of Zhang Wei's team receive a 20% boost in their attributes. All the members of the Blood Sect team are defeated, but only 3 of them survived. They still try to figure out if she really acquired the Dream God's artifact. One of the Blood team members questions their elder about what they should do since all their guys were defeated. Their master, seeing that they have lost all hope, punches him because he can't believe the Blood Sect raised 2 spineless cowards. Like them, he commands an ambush to appear. Zhang Wei wants everyone on his team to be careful about it. The oldest member of the Blood Sect team uses a threat, saying that since they massacred many of his teammates, how can he not take revenge to save his dignity, and only their group will leave there alive. He activates the Great Blood Sacrifice formation and tells Zhang Wei's team to prepare to die. Zhang Wei tries to figure out what kind of skill this is, which seems to be a formation skill that requires several people to activate, so they need to be very careful. Zhang Wei wants Ba Wang to stay there while he goes ahead to take a look and see if there's a way out, while Ba Wang goes to check the other side, and Yara wants them both to come back if it doesn't work out. Zhang went to the front, where he sensed the boundary of the Blood Sacrifice formation. He tried to break it, but the Elder Master appeared and threatened Zhang, saying he would not be able to escape from there, because those trapped within the Great Blood Sacrifice formation cannot leave. Zhang and Bawang returned after several failed attempts to break the formation's barrier. The eldest master of the Blood Sect team strengthened the Blood Sacrifice formation, and all of Zhang's team members were surrounded by vengeful spirits. Zhang tried to kill them again, but the master called out to him, telling him not to waste his energy, because the number of vengeful spirits in that formation would only continue to increase, and he would not be able to kill them all. To Zhang, it seemed that the power of the Great Blood sacrifice formation lay in draining the opponent's vitality and energy through the endless stream of vengeful spirits, and in the end, the opponent slowly walks towards death. In an instant, a vengeful spirit grabbed Zhang's body, whispering sweet temptations in his ear. She claimed that he would not be able to escape her grasp. She told him she was lonely and asked why he would not stay with her. Zhang struggled to break free from her control. He made it clear that he did not want to get involved with vengeful spirits. Deep down, he knew these spirits were very troublesome, but Bawang was worried. They did not know what to do. The number of vengeful spirits was increasing, and if this continued, they would not last much longer. So they needed to find a way to destroy this formation. Bawang suspected that those 4 stones must be the key to the formation. Only by destroying those stones could they escape this formation. They had no other choice. He focused spiritual power into his sword. The furious and resentful spirits opened their mouths and continued to scream. Bawang thought as he fought. Previously, they had spread their attacks across the barrier, so if they concentrated their attacks on a single point, they might be able to break through. Thus, he ordered Qinglong and Atu to focus their strength on attacking the stone. Meanwhile, he decided to go and save Zheng Yi in the Dream Spirit Manor. Dio was walking down the street, upset because she thought she could make some quick money from the blood-red dream spirit. But someone had already stolen it first. Suddenly, she discovered a great disturbance up ahead. This frightened her. What was happening? Did they not say that the mission involving the blood-red dream spirit was over? Why was there so much commotion? Without wasting time, she immediately rushed forward to check. She was puzzled. Her mind raced with many questions. Why were there so many bodies of blood sect members? Scattered around here, over there, were the same elders from the blood sect, and they were performing the Great Blood Sacrifice Formation. The last time the blood sect used the Great Blood Sacrifice Formation, that was when they attacked Ice Peak City and massacred the leader of the Beast Tribe, and now they're targeting the Dream Spirit Mansion. All of this is so confusing to her, so she continues to observe, but to her surprise, she discovers Zhang Yi there, and she can't understand how he was captured by the blood sect. However, she then realizes he has actually broken through the blood sect's Great Formation, so if she could just join forces with Zhang Yi, they could wipe out the blood sect and proceed. The formation is sustained by the blood key of these elders. If one of them falls, the formation will definitely be affected, and once it is destroyed, they will all suffer the consequences. Thinking all this, without hesitation, she immediately stops and leaps up, launching herself into the air. Aiming for the chest of one of the elders, she strikes, and with a slash, he is sent back to Mother Earth. Moving on, she activates her stealth ability to escape, hoping that Zhang Yi can handle the rest. Since she has now broken the formation, inside the Great Blood Sacrifice Formation, the vengeful spirit controlling Zhang Yi becomes confused. It's suffering a backlash now that the formation has broken, and even Zhang Yi can feel that his power has suddenly weakened. Using all his strength, he throws the spirit away from him. The spirit screams in despair as, at the same time, Ba Wang appears, checking if Zhang Yi is alright. But Zhang Yi assures him that he's fine, and now that the formation is broken, it's their turn to fight back. Seeing the formation destabilizing, tension fills the air. The Great Formation is about to collapse. If they don't get out of here quickly, they'll be trapped forever. Upon hearing this, Yuru and King Long carry Liu Shu and move towards Zhang Yi and Ba Wang. They need to jump quickly and get out without wasting any time. As they leaped, King Long saw that everyone else was being cared for. He was the only one left alone, so he feels a pang of jealousy. Meanwhile, Zhen Yunshui grinds his teeth in rage, declaring, "Today, no one will leave this formation alive." At that moment, he summons a great hand, unleashing demonic energy as a massive explosion erupts. With smoke blanketing the entire area from that surge of energy, Zhen Yunshui arrogantly declares that, even if the blood sect perishes, he will drag everyone to the grave with him. After a few minutes, the smoke gradually dissipates, revealing Zhang Yi's team. They were only lightly injured from the demonic energy. This infuriates Zhen Yunshui even more, as he had wanted them all to die. Zhang is resolute, declaring they won't just suddenly die so easily. Rogue appears, activating his illusory chain dance skill and yelling for them to grab the rope. Hearing the command, Zhang immediately grabs the rope with all his might, making a vow to Rui that the blood sect, which has committed every kind of evil, will see its villainy end this very day. The elder freezes in place, stunned by the return of the Great Blood Sacrifice Formation. At that moment, he draws his sword and charges directly at the old man, as the system announces the player, Zhen Yunshui, the Great Elder of the Blood Sect. Before the Blood Sacrifice Formation can explode, everyone is rescued just in time by Diego. Jiang Wei expresses his gratitude, stating they couldn't have defeated the Blood Sect without her. But it was no trouble for her, since the blood sect was her enemy as well, and she also wanted to repay his help. Back in Dawn City, she then takes out 5 vials of HP potions and hands them over to heal their wounds. These are the best health point potions from Frost Peak City, and many players are scrambling to get their hands on them. She also apologizes to Yaru for the earlier incident with the ring. As the others use their health potions, Jiangui is lost in thought. He wonders why Diego would suddenly return to Frost Peak. He knows the blood sect is hunting her, so her sudden return makes no sense to him. Unable to contain his curiosity, he decides to ask her directly. She reveals that the most dangerous place is the safest place. Those idiots from the blood sect would never think she is living right under their noses. But at the same time, she tells Jiangui he should worry about himself, as he is a thorn in Carol's side. Diego looks at Jiangui and asks if he has any idea how much his bounty has increased in the Assassin's Guild. She informs him of the new amount, 1 million. Jiangui's eyes widen in shock, realizing Carol had truly gone all out against Diego. Diego then adds that now that the blood sect has been eliminated, she can finally move freely around Frost Peak City. She says she is going back to her contracts now. However, since Frost Peak City has lost its leader, Carol will definitely try to take advantage of the situation. Hearing this, Yaru turns to Jiangui and says, "The people of the blood sect were evil, but the remaining beast race players are innocent. Furthermore, the Dream Spirit Mansion has just resurfaced. If Carol exploits it, the consequences will be unimaginable." But Jiangui assures her he will not let Carol succeed. As they arrive in Frost Peak City, Liu Chu introduces them to the main city of the beast race, Frost Peak City. When they are not on missions, this is where they live. As Yaru and Jiangui pass through, the city's residents began to murmur. People are commenting on how a group of human players eliminated the blood sect. Some citizens are truly shocked. After all, the blood sect was the largest guild in Frost Peak City. How could such a small team defeat them? Others say it is true. They even heard that the group encountered the God of Dreams and obtained a powerful artifact. Amidst all the chatter, Yaru whispers to Jiangui that ever since they entered the city, the beast race players are secretly watching them from beyond the blood sect. No one else was supposed to know they had the artifact, but she learns that King Long told them before they left. He had King Long enter Frost Peak City first to spread the news that their guild destroyed the blood sect and obtained the artifact of the dream god that way. They can keep them in check as they enter the city otherwise. These beast race players would be difficult to handle. This truly impressed Yaru in her thoughts. He knows that here strength is king. To become the leader of Frost Peak City, they must expand the guild's strength and make it the top guild in Frost Peak City at the Guild Management Association. Leo enthusiastically reports about the Frost Peak City Guild Management Association. A girl comes to welcome the human race, assuring them to feel free to ask anything they need. They offer all kinds of services. Here she is so excited that she directly grabs Zane's arm. Her affectionate gaze makes him blush unexpectedly. Seeing this, Yaru gets annoyed, but Zane politely refuses any strange services and clarifies that he is only here to level up the guild. He then opened the system panel. The system shows the guild's information and also the guild members. The girl announces that, based on your current contribution points, your guild's level has been upgraded to 5. Once the guild's contribution points meet the upgrade requirements again, he will be welcome back anytime now. Zane has decided to recruit powerful players in Frost Peak City to make his guild the strongest in this city. Afterward, he stands on the Guild Association's platform. With his guild, he announces that he needs help and invites them to join his guild, so they can build a city of free expression, free from exploitation. A guy in the crowd assures them that they can count on him as he remembers. When he was attacked by the blood sect at the Dream Spirit Manor, it was Zane's guild members who protected him. Everyone is motivated and encouraged to join the guild. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure watches from afar, realizing how they misunderstood Zane later. At the Lion King's Pride Tavern, all the players are having dinner. A player announces that the Godslayer Guild has surpassed the Carefree Pavilion Guild in combat power, making it the top-ranked guild in the city. Frost Peak everyone then cheers for the guild leader. Everyone raise their glasses in celebration. Suddenly King Long makes a signal and calls Zane outside, revealing that something strange has happened in the city. He followed Zane's instructions to buy health potions, but all the shops in the city are out of stock. Other potions and equipment were also sold out. Zane realizes that someone is buying up all the items from the shops in Frost Peak City, and now, nobody can buy anything in Frost Peak City. It seems this person wants them to suffer hardships in Frost Peak City. A question forms in his mind. Who possesses such terrifying financial power to buy out an entire city overnight? They need to catch the mastermind before panic spreads. Night falls on the city of Frost Peak. Zane gathers everyone and announces that the city's shops will be restocked tonight. So, if someone is deliberately causing trouble by depleting the shop's stocks, they will certainly show up tonight. In that case, he orders everyone to remain vigilant at their respective shops. If they see anyone acting suspiciously, they should take note of their movements and clothing. They must avoid direct confrontation, so as not to alert the culprit to their presence. In an instant, Diana appears, chasing someone in a black mask. It seems the person stole something from her. Seeing this, Zane orders everyone to stick to the plan while he goes to check on the situation. Meanwhile, the masked figures immediately pull out several exploding meteors and hurl them at Diana. Panic flashes across Diana's face. Bombings are forbidden in the city, but the two masked men threaten to blow everyone to pieces. Zane rushes in just in time to grab her, saving her from the blast. He asks her about the masked men and why they were throwing bombs in the city. Diana explains that the two have been wandering around, scouting shops ever since they entered the city. She followed them and discovered they are planning to buy all the items in Frost Peak City. Hearing this, he takes her hand, deciding they will handle this together. Both masked men grow worried seeing someone else join Diana. Their mission in Frost Peak City doesn't include fighting them, but Diana and Zane are determined to capture them. Unable to find a way out, both of them throw their bombs at them, but at the same time, one of the guild members arrives just in time. He uses the reinforced colossal shield to create a barrier, and the bombs end up ricocheting due to its elasticity. Kiera rushes over to them, checking if they're all right, and reporting that many innocent players were injured, but Qinglong and Leo are now tending to their wounds. As the smoke from the bombs clears, the culprits can be seen lying on the ground. These two were bombing the city indiscriminately. They don't seem like ordinary players, they're more like members of the Divine Guild. Just like the one in Moonlight City, Zane and Baron advance towards them, noticing a symbol on their watches. It's the same one seen on the members of the Divine Guild. Perhaps Carol is behind all of this. Moving on, Zane suggests that Kiera and Baron stay in Frost Peak City temporarily, and help stabilize things if anything unexpected happens. But he is heading to Moonlight City to see what Carol is planning. Dyer's expression is filled with worry. She reminds him to be very careful, since it is Carol's territory, but Dyer interrupts them, announcing that she is going too, since she has worked with Carol before in Moonlight City. Zane and Dyer wear the same masks and cloaks as the culprits, with the symbol, and pretend to be Carol's people, lying to the guards that the guild leader assigned them a mission. After being told this, the guards allow them to enter the premises. As soon as they enter, the commander points and calls them over. The commander wants to know what happened to them and why they are so late. Zane calms himself and politely replies that a small incident delayed them. Hearing that, he did not ask any more questions, but he warned them to hurry up and join the line on time, otherwise, they would cause a delay and be in big trouble. They got in line and observed the potions and equipment in the cages. It is clearly different from their own. Although they might have bought it from another city, there is a lot of human race equipment there too, so they must follow them and see. They hear a warning for everyone to enter one by one, drop their things, and leave immediately. The commander will not be responsible if they take too long and lose their lives. They took turns pushing the door to enter the room. As soon as one of the people enters, he screams for help, but the commander orders everyone to ignore it, as it was just an accident, and they must continue. Zane and Dyer enter as well, but she gets so scared that she drops everything from her hands while hugging Zane, and both are shocked to see a horde of magical beasts there that Carol probably tamed. Zane orders everyone to stay calm and hide their fear. They will alarm these magical beasts because if they sense fear, they will immediately think the people here are prey and attack. However, Zane realized one thing. Carol sent those hooded men to other cities to buy out the shops in order to feed these magical beasts. He wants to convert these items into experience, to accelerate their growth. Carol is truly ruthless. Magical creatures raised this way have no bond with their master and tend to go out of control. At that moment, Carol appeared, coming to check on the training progress of the magical creatures. He approaches the imprisoned creatures, studies them, and understands that at this rate, it will take about 2 weeks to complete the training. As soon as the giant creature in the cage spots its master, it roars and breathes fire outwards. Although Carol was not paying attention, Zane absolutely rushed to copy and successfully duplicated the divine talent, Tycoon, and the rewards from monsters and dungeons were doubled to 100% with no drops. It is a lot. No wonder Carol has so much money and so many magical beasts. The reward that Zane receives from 100 runs is what Carol gets in just one. At the same time, Carol takes out a legendary item, the Silver Dragon Flute, an exclusive item for beast tamers. He calls his subordinates a bunch of losers, then begins to play the flute. The sound of the flute can control magical beasts. Zane quickly recognizes that it's the silver dragon flute. It's said that its melody can even control ancient dragons, but its drop rate in dungeons is very low. Only a few beastmasters can get it. It seems Carol's divine talent really helped him a lot. After controlling the beasts, Carol turns to the commander who is kneeling before him. He orders the commander to hurry up and speed up the training since the knights are all waiting for their magical beasts. If he delays his siege plan, he threatens to feed him to the magical beasts. Meanwhile, Dahlia was still startled from seeing those beasts, so Zane asked with concern if she was all right and told her they should leave since their investigation was over. As they try to escape, Carol appears behind them, ordering them to stop right there upon hearing the call. Zane and Dahlia are startled, assuming they might have been discovered. Carol's expression is cold and unreadable, but not to raise suspicion. Zane excitedly asks if the guild leader has any orders for them. But Carol doesn't suspect a thing and orders them to clean up the bodies. Just as everyone else is busy, he clenches his fists in anger, cursing them for being a bunch of useless trash wandering around. Finally, after an intense time in front of Carol, together they clean the bodies of the men in black and move them outside. Dahlia can't wait to go back and get a good night's sleep. Although they are safe now, Zane suggests they should leave. On the terrace of the Frost Peak City Inn, Zane sits alone, lost in thought. His mind wanders until Arya approaches him, noticing he seems worried since they returned from Moonlight City. She asks if something happened. Without hesitation, he explains that, during this trip to Moonlight, he discovered that Carol has been secretly raising an army of magical beasts. He even seems to have paired these magical beasts with a squad of knights, as he heard Carol mentioning a siege plan while they were leaving. If his guess is correct, Carol has formed the Beast Knight Squad to attack other cities. This makes Arya worried, and she wonders if they can withstand Carol's attack, but Zane denies it. The defense level of Frost Peak City's buildings is only at the elemental stage. If a large number of magical beasts attack at once, the defensive building will be destroyed instantly. However, they still have a chance. In the apocalypse, there is an elemental crystal containing special powers. It can withstand the heat of a dragon's breath, and also strengthen city buildings. And after upgrading the crystal, it can also be used for counterattacks. This precious crystal can only be extracted by goblins who have lived underground for a very long time. They'll have a chance if they can find enough elemental crystals. Before Carol's Magic Beast Knight Squad is complete, he turns to Yarrow to ask for a favor. He is going to search for elemental crystals, so Frost Peak City will need Yarrow's protection and management. Jane and Joel are still in Dawn City, so he can't ask them to help, but Yarrow is fine with it. Yarrow is fine with him going to find the elemental crystals and assures him that everything here in Frost Peak City will be alright. At the edge of the forest, while exploring, Jaden thinks about goblins. Normally, they live on the outskirts, far from cities. They are active around this forest, so he should be able to find traces of them. As he presses forward, he spots a giant's footprint on the ground. But giants aren't supposed to be active in this area. There must be a reason one has suddenly appeared here. Giants and goblins are two races that have fought for centuries. The giant race exploits their physical superiority to enslave goblins, while the goblin race relies on their agility and various inventions to resist the giants. So, the appearance of a giant here could be related to the goblins. Suddenly, a loud voice startles him. A giant is sitting in front of a tree, yelling at it. It was bullying a small spirit. Seeing this, Jaden extends his hand and launches an attack. The blow sends the giant staggering backward. He can't stand bullies like that, who pick on the weak just because they're big. The giant grinds its teeth in rage and immediately grabs a nearby tree. It turns and slams the massive tree down right where Jaden was standing. Jaden quickly leaps away to dodge the attack. With his agile body, he moves easily. The strength of giants lies in their overwhelming power due to their massive size, but their weakness is also quite obvious, and that is their lack of agility. Because of the tree, the dust cloud makes Jaden less visible to the giant. Seizing this opportunity, Jaden swings his sharp sword, striking and defeating the giant. The system informs him immediately that his level has increased to 60. Jaden is impressed by this divine talent, the one he copied from Carol. With this talent, not only does his leveling speed increase significantly, but even defeating a regular monster grants him tons of gold. A sudden movement catches his attention. It's the little earth spirit. Jaden approaches it. He holds out his hand, assuring the creature that it's safe now. The little spirit hesitates for a moment, but when Jaden offers a warm smile, the little spirit reaches its own tiny hand out to him. And that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, comment for the next part, subscribe to the channel, and leave a like. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.